So the fact that I'm still here talking, especially after everything thus far, there's so many things that have happened. I don't get into it. You don't need to know every piece of my fucking life story. You may not want to know. It may not be necessary. Maybe it is necessary. Maybe that's part of the problem. You don't truly understand me and you think you do. So my whole upbringing, I was expecting to die or go to prison. I just didn't know what the circumstances were going to be. If we don't move into this space and truly understand who and what we are and what our rights and freedoms are worth, which is dying for going to a box, we're not going to have them. Worse than that, we're going to be diseased. We're not going to have peace. We're not going to have inspiration. We're not going to have true faith. We're not going to have empowerment. We're not going to have resources. You have to draw the line of distinction, and you have to move into that if you want the things that we say we want. There's going to be no other mechanism to get it. If I have to die or go to prison doing what's true or what's right, I'm so way ahead of the game at this point. Yeah, there's only two things that you could do to stop me now, and you can't even do that indefinitely. You got to put me in a box forever. You got to kill me. If you put me in a box, you're going to have to let me out at some point because I haven't killed nobody and I'm not doing anything. And if you're going to do it, you got to be completely corrupt, and I don't put it past you. But if you put me in there, you got to keep me forever. And you still aren't going to know what to do with me because I'm going to raise the roof on wherever you put me. Just the way that I am. You know it and I know it. I don't even have to get uppity to do it. Energetically, I'm going to raise the roof on that institution. When I go to these places, they go, get this motherfucker out of here. Energetically, we do not need him here. You go in there, it's like the pit of hell. It's like death warmed over. You know, I come in there, I bring such a light and such information and understanding and such care that it just flips it on its head. They say, get him out of here. It's bad for business. Greeting, folks. That one gets me every time, man. I gotta say. That one gets me in my feelers every time, Henry. I don't know. I guess just the kind of the candid energy and speaking about the journey, you know. There's a lot of pain and there's a lot of reconciliation there. Go ahead, sir.
Is that a ChatGPT created gorilla?
I don't know how he does that. That's one of my producers, right? Gorilla Gems, along with Talcott Clip Collection. Those folks will work magic on you. So I don't pretend to know what they do. I don't ask them what they do. You never ask a magician to reveal his ways, right?
True. It's funny stuff.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good vibe, man. It's a little bit of it's kind of cartoonish, a little bit comedic, but it's also poignant and powerful. It's all the things, man. It's like I couldn't have done it better than myself. You know, that's why I'm blessed to have folks like that with me on this journey from the beginning because they seem to get it, you know, and they bring it all together. So what do you got on the table, man? I always like how your mind works. I like where your mind goes. You're a pretty inquisitive person and you know how to kind of reveal from what I've seen. So you got anything that you want to get into or talk about or present, or where are you at?
Well, I'm working on a documentary which has nothing to do with anything that you might be interested in. Well, it's kind of uncovering corruption in Rhode Island, and other projects have been encroaching on my work. So I'm writing an email to say to somebody I'm no longer going to be helping them with their production that they're trying to get off the ground, so I can focus on this documentary which I'm already committed to.
Okay, what does this corruption pertain to, if I may ask?
Yeah, so there's a guy in Rhode Island who was picking up his daughter a couple of years ago from school, and an administrator had taken a call from this guy's ex-wife and said, you know, you need to change the collection permissions for our daughter because her father no longer has permission to pick her up, and this was false. So the administrator changes the file with no oversight whatsoever. So the guy goes to pick his daughter up from school, and he gets arrested. So the daughter's like obviously freaks out seeing her dad get arrested. He gets charged with a few things, and then the same thing happens a few years later. same guy, different school. The school administration just completely turned his life upside down with no accountability whatsoever. Admittedly, maybe he was in the wrong for being a little bit emotional in the situation. The police brutalized him and it was caught on camera. The school did everything wrong. So everybody's to blame somewhat, but all the consequences landed on this guy. And he's just a nice, regular, hardworking guy, lovely family, trying to do the right thing, and his life's been destroyed.
And that's why I do what I do, Henry, because that's exactly the point. A lot of times, and more increasingly, it is the regular guy who's trying to do the right thing, who is working hard and quote unquote providing for his family, who they're slaving the most, right? Because we've gotten to a point, I believe, or what's shown, it's really not a belief, it's what's shown, where these folks have become unbound and unrepentant, right? And they're power hungry and they're status driven and they're money driven. And this is like the age old tale, right? It's cliche at this point. So, yeah, while you could say that the man probably wasn't in his highest good, getting emotional and getting reactive, whatever he was saying, I'm sure he didn't do anything, but maybe he did. But we have to understand that when folks are playing with your children and trying to harm your children or cause you or your children loss, it is somewhat of a instinctive and natural response or reaction to want that to stop and to put a stop to it, right? And that's part of the issue is we've now demonized regular good people for wanting to or engaging in doing ugly things sometimes or acting in an ugly way to try to stop people from doing ugly things, right? And you could argue that is a domestication program because every animal out there, I don't care if it's Parsons the pig, a chicken, if you go to try to take what they have, their resources, if you go to try to take something from their children or harm their children, they're going to give you what for, as they used to say, right? So we as humans, right, we have an angelic beingness or a conscience locally, if you will, and we have an animal nature, and they work in tandem, right? They're not mutually exclusive. So that is God's creation, and it's there for a reason. If we don't embody our nature, if we don't say this far and no further, and we try to work with equity first and foremost, there's going to come a time where they're not going to listen at all to what we have to say, and they're not going to read what's on the paper, and they're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do to take what you and I have, including our ability to speak freely, because it's already happened. Everything I'm speaking on has already happened. I'm speaking about it in the future because a lot of folks cannot cognize and conceive of the fact we're already here, right? So forgive me for droning on a bit, but you got something backstage there. Okay, yeah, there you go. So there's like, Joe Public, and there's the little child. And, of course, to these people, to the predatory folks, that looks like something to eat, right? So like the average human of conscience, they go, oh, that's so sweet. That's a beautiful scene. To these folks, that's like a lamb, that's like a sheep and a lamb. And they're looking to take it down. Right. And the average folks will say to me, Paulie, that's so morbid. Why would they do that? I understand why you think that way and feel that way. You're not predatory. But if you understand criminology and the minds of predators, people who are status driven, power driven, money driven, they will do anything to anybody to get what the fuck they want or keep what they think they got. And that's just the nature of the game. We got another one here. Okay, so that's a video. Yeah, go ahead and show the video. Why not? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You got a face-covered demon who's going to reach out and touch somebody who they got no business touching because it was only words, and that's freedom of speech.
So this is completely unprovoked. The police officer just decides, I've had enough talking. I'm just going to yank this guy. And his colleague realizes, oh shit, now we're going to have to go to the ground because my colleague's just overstepped the mark. So you'll see that the first officer pulls him in one direction and the second officer pulls him in another direction. It's just a complete and utter shit show.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is again, this is ubiquitous at this point. It's worldwide. This could be at any court, USA, right? Like they like to say. So this is obviously across the pond, I'm guessing, or is this is not a? Oh, you said this is Rhode Island. Okay, so yeah, you're across the pond, UK, obviously, but you're doing this about something going on in Rhode Island. So then that makes more sense because I was at first thinking this was UK, and I'm thinking to myself, well, what I kind of have seen about these folks and know about them is they're usually pretty polite and they don't really go hands on till the last minute. What we know about America is they're fully into fascism. They'll go hands on, even when it's not necessary. So, yeah, East Coast doesn't surprise me. They're a bunch of tyrants pretty much everywhere, but more on the coast. They're going to do whatever they want. And if they don't like you or what you're saying or doing, then they're going to put hands on you and throw you around and then stick some charges on you and then claim that you did battery on an officer too. That's always the great one. They'll assault you and then say you resisted, add another charge, and then maybe even say you assaulted the officer.
Well,
did he get any resisting charges, Henry?
So the one that he got, you'll love this. So he works with his hands. He has a business where he makes children's ride-on toys. So he's got tools in his car. He's got tools on his body. He's got like pocket knives for opening boxes. So obviously they got him for carrying a weapon as well. He's got a weapons charge. Because when they arrested him, he had knives in his pockets. So now he can't go on school grounds. He's got a weapons charge. He's, outcast in the community because he was labeled as this knife-wielding maniac in the school.
Right. So, did they? I didn't hear if you said did they stick him with the resisting charge or anything like that? Battery on the officer?
No, not that. They got him with what do they call it when you're being belligerent? That was the reason they said they arrested him for being belligerent.
Not disturbing. They just said belligerent, not disturbing the peace, or have another terminology for it too. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of par for the course at this point. Do you have any more videos or any more kind of material or information on this? I mean, we're already covering. I may as well.
Enough for a documentary. I'll put it that way. We've got CCTV, mobile phone footage, court documents, court video.
What's this man's name?
Joshua Mello.
Okay.
Really,
so
really
yeah,
nice
maybe.
Guy.
So yeah, maybe. So yeah, maybe. The mother and the daughter are arguing over here. So yeah, we could just talk more about this at some point if you got more information. But yeah, this is kind of par for the course as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I got a stack of videos daily, 10, 15 of them. Where they're just going hands on with people, shooting them, not going hands on with them and shooting them for various nonsense threats, so purported threats.
Yeah, I've got one more I'll show you. So this is
you may as well, whatever you got, you may as well bring up whatever you got because we're already talking about it, and maybe put the guy's name in the back. I could reveal the name, and then people could look into it for themselves.
So this is a CCTV from outside the school, and we're not sure if the police are aware this footage exists because it took them a while to get it from the school. So this is after they arrested him. Can you see it okay? Is it sharing okay on your screen?
Yeah, it looks pretty decent.
Okay. So this is when he's in cuffs. It's only another 10 seconds or so from this clip.
Yeah, well, you could see. Let it roll again because I've had experience with this. Roll it again from the beginning. You'll see when they start to get about halfway, they start to pull him back and forth. They've done this to me and others before. This is part of their games. You'll notice he's not resisting, right? And when they get about halfway, you'll start to see him sort of shift. Kind of about there and a little bit before. It's very slight, right? But I've seen them do this with me and others before. They make slight, what they would call not really furtive movements, but they will tighten up on you while they're grabbing you, and they will try to use pressure points, or they will jostle you to give the appearance that you're tightening up or resisting, right? And this is just commonplace with a lot of these folks. And then they'll say, "Stop resisting," and you go, "I'm not," and then they like to throw you down or throw you on the car and, rattle your cage a little bit.
Yeah, so that was obviously from being slammed on the hood of a cruiser, and the police officer apparently said that was due to a carpet burn that he sustained while rolling around inside the school. So that's how he brushed it off. It's nice and convenient, isn't it?
Yeah. He was doing a fire exercise, stop, drop, and roll, and he burned his head on the carpet. Yeah, it's not that they were doing what I just said, pulling on him, doing pressure points, jostling him, pretending he's resisting, and then throwing him around. No, they don't do that.
So the idea is to present the whole case as a kind of, I guess, a YouTube documentary. But there's a local sort of independent media guy who had a chat with. He's got something like 18,000 people on his sort of subscriber base. So when we make it, we're going to release it to him and other local outlets, and maybe some people will, I don't know, lose their jobs and maybe get some kind of semblance of justice for this guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, let me know. We'll talk about it here. Maybe we'll play some of it here. Public servant cannot be the victim or complainant. Well, not necessarily in that capacity, but a man acting as a public servant, if you victimize them, can bring a claim against you like any other man or woman acting in any other capacity. But no, they cannot be the complainant. They're an arresting officer. There has to be a third party impartial witness or a victim of a crime. And again, that's the foundations of law that everyone seems to have forgotten. Very convenient. So everyone, can act in concert with conflict of interest to move charges and steamroll folks while claiming that everyone acting in concert as state agents has a legitimacy as impartial members of the court, right? They have to be impartial aspects of the court. And obviously we know that's not the case. I guess we'll get to, I got a video of a silver dealer here I may play because he talks about if you're going to buy silver, to invest or to hedge your value, we know that, holding cash is a foolish endeavor. I don't care what, I forget who it is, Ray Dalio, one of these clowns. Donald Trump said it. Cash is king. No, it's actually not. Cash is fraudulent. It's backed by nothing. If you hold cash, it's losing its value day by day. So why hold an asset is my belief in times like this, especially. That is not an asset. It's a liability because it loses its value day by day. Why not convert that or trade in precious metals, as they call it, right? Hard assets that either hold their value continuously over hundreds of years or exceed in value because of supply and demand. So no, I'm not, shilling silver here. No, I don't have a, link to a website where you can get a crate of shit.
Why not?
Simply just, well, that's, I guess, why not, right? That is the question.
I want
because
to buy some
then it
silver.
would. Yeah, well, listen, I mean, again, everything has occurred to me, but as I said, that Tommy so eloquently showed and clipped out, I don't want to turn this place into a marketplace, right? More money, more problems. So the more I start, again, it's one thing to kind of gift for gift, but if I start, having a bunch of things and sending them out and they start looking at me for profit and revenue, now I have income and revenue. Now they're going to want to have conversations with me. They're going to want to know what the fuck I think I'm doing. And again, not that I necessarily act out of fear, but uh, you know, like I've said in the past, at some point I may do an on the ground situation. If I do a festival or something of that nature, I may have different pieces of property out, and we may do free trade. And it may be all the things. It can serve as a marketplace. It can serve as an event center, whatever the case may be. But yeah, again, I don't want to be involved in commerce. And also, too, I just feel like it may lend to less credibility. Maybe it's more credible if you're.
It's more in some circumstances, because if I have to buy coffee, I'd rather buy coffee from you and support the broadcast than buy it from some faceless conglomerate.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, there's a whole bunch of opportunities doing what I do, but I'm also aware that if I have everything I need and then some, don't get greedy, don't get desperate. Talk the truth. Give folks informed consent. If you can gift them something now and then, they give you value, you give something back. Okay, but yeah, it's a slippery slope when it comes to that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because then it's like if I'm doing that, I got to talk about it. Then I got to give it out. If I give it out, well, then I got to put something on top, and then they're gonna want to talk to me about being a fucking bullion dealer, you know. So yeah, I mean, listen, we'll see as time goes on. I'm not really too focused on that. Maybe not as much as I should be. I'm sure there's other folks who have and would tell me you need to be a better businessman and marketer and promoter. You need to bring products. I don't know. I'm kind of wary with that whole deal for different reasons. We'll see. See, now Henry's got me thinking. He goes, "What the hell, man? If you're talking about silver, why not gift it out? They'll give you value, you gift it back out." Um, I don't know. We'll see. If there's an outcry for that, maybe we'll explore that idea. I guess maybe we get to breaking slave news. Why the hell not?
I'm gonna go down a bit, and then maybe some other people will come up.
You're gonna do what now? You're out of here.
Yeah, I'll be around, but I'll just hang back a bit.
Okay. Yeah. Ride shotgun, play the background if you want. Whatever you want to do. Let me see. Did we do the Grim Hustle? I don't think we did the Grim Hustle from yesterday. Maybe we did. I'm out of it. Yeah, we did. It was long. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the breaking slave news. Apparently, we're expanding the World War III situation. We might do a 2-month break, Israel Gaza, because we got other wars now that we've started. Some might say. And then also too, I got a really good one here. So every once in a while, I get excited by breaking slave news. And the reason I'm excited is because this guy is something else, huh? Andy Biggs is claiming the WHO is planning to use another pandemic to impose world governance. That's the quote, and that's from Forbes Breaking News. I would never say that. I would never postulate that. I would never put that forth as an official narrative. I wouldn't even theorize that. That's so conspiratorial. But he would. It means I can comment on it. U.S. shoots down Houthi missiles targeting container ships. We're expanding the war. Some folks might say, like Clausen, that this is all on purpose for global governance reasons.
Back groups calling it, quote, irresponsible. U.S. forces hit targets in Iraq and Yemen in response to recent attacks on merchant ships in the Red Sea and on American forces in the Middle East.
This is the second night in a row that the U.S. has launched an assault in the region. On Monday night, U.S. and U.K. forces hit Houthi targets in Yemen.
CBS News national security correspondent David Martin joins us now from the Pentagon to speak about this a bit more. David, what new information are we learning about the incident in which the Houthis fired on 2 American-flagged vessels?
Well, it provides pretty convincing proof that despite 10 days of airstrikes, the U.S. and its partner, Great Britain, have not succeeded in eliminating the Houthis' ability to launch cruise missiles and drones out into the Red Sea. And this latest incident, which happened this morning, our time, missiles were
There's the proof, Penal Power. They're firing on our ships.
Containers,
we got to do more war.
Which the ship's owner says were carrying cargo for the U.S. state and defense departments. The missiles missed or were shot down, 2 of them being shot down by a U.S. Navy warship that was escorting the...
No, that's the thing. Thomas is lying down there again. He's doing sob sit conspiracies. What he said was, George Bush Sr., we cannot locate $2.3 trillion right before the fucking Pentagon got hit and the WTC buildings, of course. So, every once in a while you can't locate 2.3 trillion, and then the place where all the records are held just kind of gets lit on fire. you understand. Let's continue here. We're going to hear from the Pentagon because they've been victimized and they know best.
Container ships, but the ships had to turn around and exit the Red Sea because to continue was considered too dangerous. So once again, the Houthis have not scored a hit on a ship, but they really don't have to. All they have to do is make that passage dangerous enough so that shipping companies order their captains to stay away from using the Suez Canal and take the long
M. Davis is playing a game down there now. Like, let's yell out names of people who are pretty much completely corrupt and some might say should be in prison. Who's the other guy? Isn't he the guy who shot his friend on a hunting trip, or is that another guy? Is that Cheney? It might be Cheney, huh? Power, what do you know about any of this? What do you got going on today other than showing pictures in the background like bizarre diagrams? Nothing? You got anything going on? What's going on in your life? I always love talking about your life. I want you to
I got some real life stuff. I got someone in the hospital and whatnot. And again, I've brought it up, but my naturopathic viewpoints aren't really welcome. So unfortunately, what seems to be final days are not including me in it, because I'm more about like trying to potentially save somebody from being poisoned. And, the other people are more so about just the illusion of pharmakia. So it is what it is.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Could you just speak directly if it's okay? Like, if it's not going to cause us too many issues. If not, could we just like get this?
I don't tend to believe in the pharmakia. So I'm kind of an extremist. Some might say.
You were in the hospital. Is that the bottom line here? Are you going to die?
No. I'm good. As far as I know, anyway. Somebody very close to me. One of the.
Did you apply at Applebee's yet?
Not Applebee's. Not Applebee's, but Fridays. So.
Okay.
No,
why the fuck not? Dude, you already have experience and you could be like, this is what's going to piss you off. You're going to go work at Fridays now, get out of your box again, get back into the world. And they're going to do some crazy wild shit back there. And you're going to go, this is crazy and wild back here. And you're going to try to come here and go, I'm thinking about quitting Fridays. And I'm going to go, no, you're not. You're going to do now what you should have done from the beginning, which is go to some fucking top place because you have low self-esteem and self-worth. I know that about you because I know that about me. And I see your pattern.
I am trying to land a gig though for Sobe Fest, South Beach Food and Wine Fest. That's where I met all the the food and wine people. I almost met Snoop Dogg too. He rode by me on a
Fuck
golf cart.
Snoop Dogg. Get the fuck out of here.
I
When
don't
I
give a
almost
shit
met
about those.
Snoop
Yeah, no,
Dogg.
I don't care.
Bro,
but
Snoop Dogg almost met you. You're with me on this broadcast, okay? Get your fucking mind right. That's how you should have said it. The
nah, I don't
fuck
give a
is
shit about
Snoop Dogg known for other than smoking weed and rapping that same way he always does?
And that show with Martha
I'm
Stewart.
smoking weed in the car. What now?
And that show with Martha Stewart where they cooked infused edibles. I don't know if you caught that show. That was a while ago. Nah, I could give a shit about Snoop Dogg.
Dude,
But,
stay focused. Get off Snoop Dogg's nutsack. You ride his nutsack to work and back? Now, you're going to go to fucking top-notch place, Michelin star, 4 fucking stars, okay? No Puerto Ricans in the back. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying, real French people, real Italians, maybe even some Englishmen like Gordon Ramsay. That's where the fuck you want to be, bro. Popping bottles, serving wine, sommelier style. On the beach even, like you said. Festival Central. Okay? This is prime time, front line, marquee, center stage. That's where I want you. Putting on for the people. All right? Fucking these bitches that need to get fucked and pimped on. Right. I'm going to go ahead and say it. That's why Snoop Dogg was there. We know that. He's not going to come all the way out with it, but he's pimping. Oh, shizzle my nizzle. See, there goes the white people down there. They ruin everything. Ever since they said faux shizzle my nizzle, nobody's ever been able to use it ever again. That's why black people don't like you. You ruin all their shit. You make it corny and annoying. Never supposed to say that. You were never supposed to write it. Don't laugh about it either. Just laughing down. Cleveland's pissed. I mean, here's a white person say faux shizzle my nizzle. His fucking soul dies a little bit. His spirit dies a little bit inside, just like M. Davis. So I've had to give them moderatorship so they could mod this shit down there. Stop this kind of stuff from happening. Look, M. Davis is fucking face palming down there. You know what you got to do to get a black man to use emoticons and face palm? Exactly. All right. Penal Power, when are you going to get to fucking, what's that place? Big Chop or something? I don't know. There's some famous steakhouse pretty much everywhere. It's like 4 Michelin stars. Why are you showing more pictures again of Tarek?
I'm not going to work at no fucking steakhouse, man.
All right. Well, I don't really blame you because I really wouldn't want to work there either.
And that's the thing too. It's hard for me to work at any place that's serving up poison. It's like, it's against my principles.
Well, you got a thing with meat, or are you gonna like be cool with serving meat?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, the meat, but so ideally, like at least a vegetarian or vegan leaning place.
You know why you're a piece of shit? Let me tell you why. Because if you really got on your fucking game and you were really an asset, we could fucking work together, and I could get some of these people who've been begging me to take some fucking investments, and I won't do it because I'm so fucking honorable. Like they go, oh, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. I don't chase nobody. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I go, whatever's meant for me is going to come my way. If you want to drop something in my lap, I ain't going to refuse it. I'll do something with it and make it into something else. But, yeah, man, I'd like, get together with some of these people and we get like a little Penal Power food truck. We go get a PPP loan, right? We fill out the paperwork. Well, they fill it out. I don't do any of that. Right. They go fill it out, get the loan, and then they go get you a little box to sit in all day. It's air conditioned and heated in the winter. You just serve fucking Penal Power grilled cheese. All different type of cheese from all over. That's going to be the overhead, really. The box, and then you're going to have to get the fucking good cheese. And then it's going to be grilled cheese central. You're going to have my big face on it, marketing it. Fat Paulie's grilled cheese truck.
My thing is, my whole thing is the optics. No, my whole thing is, dude, cashew cheese. Have you ever had that? Nut cheese? I know that sounds kind of rude, crude, and lewd, but nut cheese.
Yeah, you're out. You're out. You know what? Close up the box. We're going to let somebody else run it because this is the problem. You're going to try to bring some kind of fake ass fucking cheese in there because you think that
I'm not talking about Daya or any of that crap shit with preservative. And I'm talking about like Miyoko. If you've ever seen that brand, it's not cheap, but it's like it's just cashews and like nutritional yeast and like sea salt maybe and another 1 or 2 non-sketchy ingredients. It's good. You got to try it, man.
I don't think I support. I don't know. I'd have to try. I don't think I support that. I don't know if I support that.
Do you
You're
like
trying
trail
to tell
mix? You don't eat
you're
trail mix?
trying no, it's not. You're trying to tell people it's cheese and it's not. It's a bunch of nuts mixed up together. That's gonna piss people off. Especially if you put it on the East Coast. If I try to tell someone like me that this is cheese and you just served them mixed nuts, it's going down, bro. The fuck is your problem? You're lying out here? Lying on what you're given? No, you don't do that.
I'm telling you, don't knock
It's
it till you
fucking
try it.
cheese
That's all
or
I
it's
can say.
not. You better put it on the menu then. You better make sure you put in big letters. This cheese is not cheese. It's fucking cashews.
You gonna tell me you don't eat nut butter either?
See, this is
Almond
why,
butter?
bro, I can't. You're going to get me in trouble with the Gambinos. One of the Gambinos' younger cousins is going to come to that fucking box, try to get some kind of, Italian cheese sandwich they can't get anywhere else. And you're going to try to serve them cashews. And they're going to bomb the box. They're going to put a hit on you, spray it up. I can't deal with that kind of liability, bro. This is what I mean. This is why it didn't work out for you at that first place you were working at. You're doing all types of extra shit. You didn't listen to
I got
anything
it.
I was just saying.
I got a name change here for Lou. This is for Lou. Down there by the bottom scroll there. Live without swine grease. That's for you, Lou.
I don't know what that means, and you're not listening to anything I'm saying.
You're an idiot. You're not listening to anything I'm saying.
Do I got to bring him back? Tell you like that?
Apparently, he's still around. Some people, I think, have said they've seen him in
Bro,
Chili's
he
chat.
keeps messaging me. He keeps emailing me. He goes, people are after me. Tell them to stop. I go, you know how many of these people I have in my email? I got like at least 5 of them still. I used to have way more. I had to just fucking curse them all out. Because if you're nice to them, they keep doing it. You try to help them, they keep doing it. And they keep trying to implicate you. It's the strangest thing ever. So I had to tell him pretty much from the and then I had to tell him from the beginning too. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about because I don't. And you ain't gonna send me emails saying people are after you. Tell them to stop because that's just I don't know what that is. Like where I come from, you're trying to get me indicted. As soon as I even hear or see some shit like that, my antennas go up. I go, I'm not fucking with you at all. I'm one of those guys because I'm not doing nothing to you. I don't know you, and I can't tell anybody to stop who I don't know. So you're either crazy or you're trying to get me indicted. He's been doing that a bunch of times. Just recently, he goes, hey, bro, where are you at? I'm coming to where you're at. The weirdest Fed behavior ever, man. And again, when somebody's ex-military and they come on here and they act like he did, my antennas are already up because I start going, what type of program are you part of, bro? Where'd they let you out of? And then you're hitting me up all the time. Hey, where are you at? Send me locations. I'm going to come to where you're at. I want to live with you. Help me. The people that you sent are after me. It's just strange, you know? But yeah, just recently he did that. And again, it was over around Christmas time, you know? So part of me is like, hey, it's Christmas time. It's holidays. Motherfuckers don't have family. They're dealing with some issues. You kind of want to be there for them. But it's just not, it's not functional behavior. It's not normal. It leads you to believe that if you do deal with them, something's going to happen one way or the other, right? So it's not like, hey, bro, what are you doing? You know, what are your thoughts on this? It's like, they're after me. Tell them to stop. And then months later, hey, bro, I'm in your area. I'm near you. You don't even know where I am. Why are you acting like you know where I am? Hey, bro, I'm in your area. Where are you? Send me the location. Nah, I'm not doing that. Hey, bro, can I come live with you and work with you? And nah. Like, you know? So I don't know. Then I got another guy. Hits me up every fucking 2 weeks. He just messaged me yesterday. He goes, listen. And then he does this every couple weeks. And then I got to talk him off the ledge, like indirectly. Because I go, bro, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If you keep fucking doing this shit, I'm going to go off on you. Stay the fuck away from me. And then they go, oh, sorry, bro. It must be me. And I'm like, yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
But he's hitting me up yesterday. He goes, listen, I know you or your people or both are after me. He goes, I know you're watching me. Same type of shit. Schizophrenic type shit, bro. Or Fed type shit. And I go, I don't have a network of people. If anybody's doing anything in my name, I didn't fucking call for that. I don't support that. I don't know what you're talking about. I suspect it's not happening. I suspect you folks have some issues going on and you need to tend to that and leave me the fuck out of your experience. You don't know me. I'm not involved with you. I don't know you. You know me from online. You may respect what I'm saying. It may inspire you, empower you. It may be valuable to you. Great. It's where it begins and ends, right? And then there's certain people who I may deal with more. and other people who I'm probably never going to deal with if they're acting like that. So, yeah, keep all that weird shit away from me. I like do my broadcast and go back to my life, and I'm really not that much of an interesting guy. I got to tell you, I'm really not that involved at all. I really don't watch what anybody's doing. I really don't care. More and more each day too. When I have refocus periods, you can't find me, and I like it like that. So I'm not thinking about you. I don't want nothing done to nobody. I live in love and peace, and that works for me. Right. So if you got anything else going on, you better contact somebody who you're supposed to, or do what you need to do and leave me the fuck out of it. Greetings, No Despair Bear. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. It's fucking raining like crazy. I'm about to pull up on your house right now.
I was just gonna say, bro, you're not gonna ask me for my location or to come live with me, are you? See, this is what I
Yeah,
mean.
man. I'm pulling up right now.
No, you're not, because I don't think you know where I am. So whoever that is that you just pulled up on, they're probably not gonna like you hanging around there, because I wouldn't. Yeah.
What a ambulance.
Yeah, there you go. Your people are pulling up, right? That's what it really is.
Yeah,
I go, it ain't you pulling up wanting to hang with me. Your people are pulling up and you want to give me some new place to live. That's what I start thinking. Right. I go, I don't know what you're talking about, and stay away from me. That's the type of shit, bro. If you're not a paranoid person, but you have a healthy level of kind of being careful and paranoid because you realize how sick and twisted people are, and then shit like that starts happening, you start thinking someone somewhere must be after you. You're on a list.
Uh-huh.
And, along with like the Welsh News Network and the rest of them saying, we want Paulie Boy in prison, we want him dead on open airwaves, pulling up all your background info. Yeah, that starts to make you think that something bigger is going on here, brothers and sisters.
Well, the demons are always coming after us. You know that. I mean,
it seems so. It also seems
know.
that while they keep clutching and coming after you, they don't actually have any power. They just seem scary. It's like a haunted house. They jump out, but really they can't touch you. And if they do, there's going to be a problem, right? Like how many times you go to those haunted houses, if they jump out and scream and I scream back, they're going to get scared. Because I go, bro, I realize that chainsaw doesn't work and you're half my size and you're like just a guy in a mask. It's scary because it's dark and it's startling. But once we start to realize what the grounding is, like, it's, you know what I mean? It's kind of a strange place to put yourself as a grown man. Because if someone jumps out on you and scares you, you're probably going to punch them in the face as a reflex. So then it's kind of, you become aware in one moment how very unscary and unpowerful these supposed ghosts and monsters and demons are. They're just playing a part, right? So the spiritual realm seems a lot to be that way. They go, we're real scary, we're real powerful, we're going to make all these moves, but they're not as completely powerful as they want us to believe they are. If they were, I probably wouldn't be here.
Demons and a goddamn live stream just fucking goes kaput.
Yeah, you broke up there a little bit.
I know. I said I bring up demons and the fucking live stream starts acting crazy and cutting out and sounding like demons, basically.
Yeah, they're doxing. They're desperate for a way in. They say, this Paul enslaved fellow, he's the bane of our existence, and people like him. We would be so much more powerful and controlling of the slaves if it wasn't for his light and power shining consistently. Curse him. They try to worm and weasel their way into my inner space and get me to doubt myself again and fear the truth and all the rest of it. It's a walk with everybody, man. I mean, there's no separation between myself or anybody else who starts to recognize these patterns.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, they got like hunting seasons too, like they talk about lunacy and lunatics. There's something in the cosmos when there's a full moon or whatever else is in alignment.
That's right.
Or
That's right now too.
You start to see all the creatures on here start acting out and getting insane, and you start to see it like around you in life too. People are just in a mode, right?
Yeah, today's a full moon, actually. Now that you
yeah, I know. You could feel it in the ether, and then you start to see it in other people, and then you go, "Okay, this is one of those times we need to be very conscious and aware and direct ourselves, or this thing's going to run a train on you. You know, it's no coincidence. Like we'll have, 3-4 months of whatever it is. I don't observe the timeline, but X amount of time apiece, everything's better than ever. And then there's certain days and certain modes where whoever it is, everyone's pretty much at each other if they're not completely conscious and aware and vigilant. Right? It starts to drag them and push them, off center, off balance. Yeah, the cosmic shakeup, I like to call it. Remind everybody of the bigger picture, the bigger game going on here, right?
For shizzle, my nizzle.
All right, yeah, you got to go. It's going to be your first and last time with that one. You're not going to do that around here. Get away with it.
That was funny.
All right, let me get back to the fucking. What do I know?
You don't like Snoop?
It's not about all that, right? I don't know that motherfucker. I don't do idol worship. This culture is pretty much bereft of objective logic, morals, and ethics, and that goes for everyone in it. And I'm not interested about the public relations PR campaign about him being with the kids and the football team. Again, I don't know him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to raise him up, and I'm not going to put him down. But I'm reticent to ever appeal to or celebrate these folks who come out of these arenas, because we know what it tends to be, right?
Right. No, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, if you really get down to it, right? If I had a guess, there's probably 10 Snoop Dogs on every block who can rap as well or better and do it in a way that's kind of entertaining or compelling. And that's where it begins and ends, right? As far as the rest of it goes, I don't know him for nothing.
He's just a puppet.
Then you have to ask yourself, why is Snoop Dogg the only one up there shining when there's 10 Snoop Dogs on every block in Compton? Let's get really real with ourselves and each other.
That's a fact. There's tons. There's a lot better than him too, probably, as far as what they do.
Yeah, dude. When it comes to Diddy, Snoop, and a few others, they definitely seem to be implicit in.
You're saying Snoop is getting popped in the booty by Diddy now? You're breaking that here?
I was more so going to lean.
Breaking news.
I'm more so bringing up the people who've disappeared or died or under mysterious circumstances, whether or not they really died. Again, get in that whole discussion. But.
Well, that's the thing, bro. Once Diddy pops you in the booty, he's going to pop you in the head. You get what I'm saying?
He takes you shopping afterwards, doesn't he?
Allegedly. No, he takes you shopping before. That's the thing. You got to know the time.
Okay.
It's shopping before, pop you in the booty, and then pop you in the back of the head, because dead men tell no tales, right? Diddy's not trying to. I mean, he'll come out the window sometimes to play with people in public. I've seen him do it with like Fabulous and a bunch of other rappers. He starts talking wild gay shit in front of them just to fuck with them and mock them and like pretty much tell the audience, hey, I'm fucking these guys. I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing. I know the kind of I know black people games, bro, and I know fucking prison games. And he's playing them all, man. He's like, he rolls up on men. Hey, bro, come hang with me. I'm going to take you shopping, buys them clothes and shit. Then gets on a broadcast with him and puts his arm around him, sunning him, like putting him under his arm and going, yeah, we going to party tonight, huh, big boy daddy? Yeah, baby. We going to party tonight. He starts getting real fucking awkward and creepy. And they're like, yeah, Diddy, we're whatever you want, bro. We're going to do whatever you want. It's like all you had to do is put Diddy in prison, right? If he was coming live from a cell and you saw that, you'd immediately think he was fucking all them and punking them and, but somehow it's okay when they're like gangster rappers.
I know
it is fascinating, man.
That makes me wonder about Biggie now. Makes me wonder.
Bro, he's doing that on purpose because he's basically, and you could see like there's some guys who don't go for it. Fabulous talks all that shit. Oh, I'm funeral fab. I'm running up with guns. He's not really like that. All of them are probably not completely like that. And I'm not saying I am like that. I'm just saying they're not, and some of them may be a little more like that because like Jadakiss doesn't really do all that. Like if you ever see Jadakiss and certain people when they're around Diddy or, they're in the room with him, they don't do all that. They don't appeal to him. They're not going to let him rub on them and put arms over them and talk about partying together, and
Yeah.
you know, it's like, you know, it's just, and I mean, again, it could go either way, because it's like, if you got guys together and they're quote unquote super alpha male, I mean, we've seen this shit with baseball teams and whoever, they'll say they're doing gay
Yeah.
shit because they're all fucking one woman together, you know, or a few women.
Well,
So
that's
it could be
true,
one
too.
thing if, yeah, it could be one thing if they're kind of fluid and dynamic and they're into a scene, right? And they're with other guys and they're all fucking whoever together. But this wasn't that. This is kind of like, this is kind of like I said, it's kind of the prison vibe. Like there's no women around, and you never see any women around. It's just him and Fabulous and two other rappers, and him kind of like pushing up on him and going, "Yeah, Daddy, I like your style, and you looking cute tonight, and we gonna go shopping. I'm gonna buy you loafers and shit." Like what the fuck? Even 50 Cent said. 50 Cent goes, "Nah, I'm not letting Diddy take me shopping." And Cat Williams said the same thing the other way. He goes, "Why are all you rappers running around with Diddy, letting him hug on you and take you shopping?" He goes, "I don't need another man to take me shopping, especially if you're a millionaire. If you're a millionaire rapper, why do you need another guy to take you shopping? That's just strange.
That's
Strange
real
behavior." I'm gonna take you shopping and try on some outfits, right? Like
No.
if you say that to anybody from New York, their next answer is, "Are you looking for trouble?" That's the next question,
Yeah.
right? The question
All
to,
right.
"Can I take you shopping?" The next question is, "Are you looking for trouble?"
Murder was the
Oh,
case
man.
that they gave me. I'm saying like that's
Penal
like,
Power, would you keep it all the way real, man? Would you let P. Diddy take you shopping, bro? I know you would. Don't even say you wouldn't. If you say you wouldn't, I'm gonna tell you you're lying right now. Yeah, don't give me the face, bro. You let him take you shopping. If he rolled
think
up, you
so?
like, yeah, PPP. I like your style, Playboy. You looking kind of cute too. I'm gonna take you shopping. Yeah,
you got
Puffy.
me really fucked. You got me fucked.
Yeah, bro. You would be like, "All right, this is Puffy. This is really P. Diddy. Oh yeah, you take me shopping." You get all like, you get blushy, right? You get all embarrassed. Like, what? You're gonna take me? You would, just like you and Mitchell. You let Diddy take you shopping together. Cut it out. I know you would. Everyone
Just
down
'cause,
there saying the same thing.
Just because me and Mitch wear colorful.
Yeah,
attire at
Playboy.
times.
I got a sweatsuit for you from Sean John, light blue.
Yeah.
Have you ever
rock
seen me
that.
ever wear
I'm gonna let
anything
you
name
rock
brand?
that. I got,
On G, have you ever seen me wear anything name brand?
I got some tight light blue briefs. Sean John, I'm gonna let you rock that.
Here's my hat.
Playboy. yeah, Penal Power. We gonna count numbers, and I'm gonna take you shopping.
Yeah.
You got
can
me
count how
and you got
many
me and
outfits I
Bieber,
got
me
you.
and Bieber confused. I'd say Mitch looks
Bro,
more
if he
like
told
Bieber,
you
if
he was gonna
anything.
buy you some loafers and little boxers and like an Audemars watch, you know you put on the loafers and the little light blue boxers to get that watch. Why are you lying?
I told you the furthest I ever went was that story I told you. What was it, a week ago with the cuck scenario?
So you're doing weird shit already a week ago, and you're gonna act
No,
like
this
you're
is
not
when
gonna
I
go
was. This
shopping
is
with
when
P.
I
Diddy.
was. This is when I was younger.
See what I
told you
mean,
the
bro?
story, so you probably
Did
don't.
you
You
hear what
probably
he
don't
did?
remember.
He just did a Rick James. He just did a Rick James. No, I don't do cocaine. Yeah, I did cocaine.
Basically, this.
I forgot.
You
He
must
just
not
did that
remember.
right there.
You must not remember the story, but it was basically.
Rick James, bitch.
It was basically a stack just to allow someone to watch.
No, I never hit Charlie Murphy in the mouth. Yeah, I punched Charlie and the Murphy in the mouth. That's what he just did right there.
That ain't Dave Chappelle anymore, dude. I'm just saying that ain't Chappelle no more.
So you were doing weird shit a week ago for free, but you wouldn't wear the light blue Sean John briefs and get the Audemars watch from Diddy, right? You wouldn't
Dude,
do
this was 10,
Cut it out.
12 years ago.
I just caught you. I didn't just
He
catch
said
you. You
last
just admitted
week.
everything else.
I said
Yeah,
I
he's
told him
doing it
about it
last
last
week.
week. This happened over a decade ago, probably, but yeah, no, I was
okay.
like 20.
Okay.
He's lying again. See what he just said? He said, "Remember I told you what happened last week?" And then I said, "Bro, you're doing weird shit a week ago." He said, "Nah, it was years ago."
And I haven't
This
been
is
out of
how
the
I always
house
get them. Bro, I seen you 3 months ago at a party. You're like, "Hey, I'm at a party," and you showed the background, and it was all guys hanging out in tight shirts and pants and rainbow colors. And I go, "Bro, you at a party or LGBTQ festival?" And you
Talking
didn't
about
answer.
That was my sister's
I know,
friends over.
dude.
No.
You won't go shopping with Diddy, but you'll come on live broadcast and show me that party in quotes. Stop it.
You're not going to keep me from coming back.
What if Diddy was going to give you a Phantom? or like a Bugatti. You wouldn't go shopping with him?
See, that's the thing. It's like,
Oh, Bugatti.
that's the thing, right? Is that if I don't know for sure, I'm going to be able to flip that for for its value, or at least the majority.
Oh
of its
yeah,
value.
right.
Oh, you'll get flipped, all right.
You don't even have a laptop that works without sounding like a vacuum every 10 minutes. And if Diddy shows up and says, yeah, Playboy, I'm gonna give you a fan.
Yeah,
You just gotta go shopping with me. You wouldn't do it?
yeah.
You're
Yeah,
saying
you
an escort. You're saying
Yeah, and you'd fucking rub his feet too.
rub no
Stop
fucking
lying.
feet, man. Get the fuck out of here.
He said, yeah, Playboy. I need you to rub my feet
You got me.
from one
fucked up.
homeboy to the next.
You got me beyond fucked up.
I've been watching you for a minute, Playboy. That unslaved character. I ain't giving him shit, but I'm about to give you a phantom. Take you shopping.
Fuck, dude.
You just gotta let me. You just gotta let me rub on your back and rub my feet. You would do it,
Man, I'm trying to see if we got any rainbow fucking.
bro. I'm gonna call P Diddy right now. Act like I won't get in touch with somebody like Antoine or somebody who will directly. If for content, he'll do anything. I know him.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but he's like me. I
Who,
haven't talked to Antoine at all. I'll hit him up right now and go, Antoine, I haven't talked to you. Whatever. I don't ask you for nothing. You got to get P Diddy on the phone because I got a new bit I'm gonna do where we're gonna do like Jay Leno on the street where we go, look at this new bit, and we cut to the street. It's Penile Power in the Phantom with P Diddy, and they're going shopping, right? He'll definitely hit him up for that. And you know P Diddy will fucking do it because he loves to clown around, and he's gonna do something with this whole image of him being gay and taking everyone shopping.
Good God.
And he's gonna like pour ice cream on you and shit and get real creepy and awkward. You'll do it. If I told you it was a bit non-bit, you would do it.
Good.
I don't know what he's gonna do to you, like behind the scenes. I can't be responsible for that. Like whatever you all decide to do, that's on you.
Yeah, that's between you
Shopping
two.
bit in the car. Your thoughts?
Good.
Would you let P Diddy pour ice cream and peaches on you for a bit non-bit? Took you shopping and gave you the Phantom after we were done shooting in it, or after he was done shooting on you in it.
Even get you a new laptop.
He's not saying no. He's not saying no.
No, he's not saying.
Man.
He's not.
I'm saying no, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying no. I'm
Oh,
saying people are
fantasy. Wow. Fantasizing about that.
Kind
What do I
of.
need to- Hey, if I would have said Rob Cleveland pouring, let me stop. I'm out of hand right now. I'm out of pocket. What makes you think that I fantasize about P Diddy pouring peaches and cream on Penile Power? I'm just talking about that old song, bro. You don't remember that old song, Peaches and Cream? P Diddy still listens to the shit from 2002. I know he does. So you're in the Phantom. He's listening to Peaches and Cream, and he's pouring peaches and cream on you for a bit non-bit because he's already out. He's already out in the open. They're hitting him up on social media. I'm watching. They're all saying he's gay. He's taking everyone shopping. So I know how he is, right? I see what he does. Every once in a while, he'll do a bit about how they perceive him. So he'd be down for that. He's not really going to do nothing to Penile Power on camera, at least. I'm not even saying P. Diddy's gay. I got no reason to believe that. I'm just saying he likes fucking with all them other gangster rappers, playing with them, taking their temperature and seeing them all get all nervous.
You don't even know he's gay because you haven't checked out the optics, as Snafu would say.
Hey, bro, the optics doesn't mean anything. I just told you. He might just be like that, egoically. He might like to get around other men because, sometimes I'll do that. That's why I caught the rap. They say I'm fucking guys in jail. That never happened.
Yeah, JG. Yeah, JG thinks you're fucking guys in jail.
Because I'll get around other men who try to be tough and gangster, and then I'll play them like they're a bitch, and I'll talk to them like they're a bitch, and then I'll see where they go with it. And a lot of times, they just get all nervous and uncomfortable, or they blush, and they fold. And he just might be like that, where he's like, "Oh, I'm with a bunch of gangster rappers, Playboy, and I'm gonna fucking pimp on everybody and show that you ain't shit." And mock you. He doesn't give a fuck. If he's fucking supermodels and he's not gay, he doesn't give a fuck what you think and what you're gonna say about him.
I wouldn't.
Now Antoine was over there with the fucking guy from prison, and he told Antoine, "You're cute. I like you, and you got nice brown eyes. And if we were in prison, I probably would fuck you. And Antoine got all blushy, and he was like, "Me?"
That's
He was like, "You would."
me?
He didn't even. He didn't even put up any defenses or resistance. He got embarrassed.
talking
He
to
was
me?
like, "I didn't know you cared." Right? I could go back and pull it up. I played it here one day. The Police Johnson, the booty warrior, the actual booty warrior from prison, who said he fucked a ton of guys, told
He pushed your
Antoine, "You
shit
got
in."
pretty." I'm telling you, he told him you got pretty brown eyes, and if we were in prison, I would make love to you. And Antoine was loving that shit. He was laughing and
Ooh.
giggling. So yeah, I mean,
Man.
whatever, you know.
That's pretty serious.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while they play like that. No.
Yeah.
Israel Hamas war is escalating. Bad news, Barry. We got to get back to breaking slave news. Enough of this
Oh
crap.
hell, yeah.
Enough of this jibber jabber. Israel Hamas war is escalating in the U.S. Missile targeted at Yemen, Iraq, Hezbollah. Let's go to that.
Overnight, the U.S. forces
Overnight.
have struck a number of targets in
Totally
both
not a
Iraq
Masonic
and
plan
in
from
Yemen.
1890.
This on the heels of the Israeli government striking targets in southern Lebanon, targeting Hezbollah forces. This amid a number of escalations in the Middle East and following one of the deadliest days for Israeli soldiers since the fight began on October 7th. Want to turn now to Trey Yingst over in Tel Aviv this morning with the latest on all happening there. Good morning, Trey. Hope all is well there. Wanted to get into that latest news out of those strikes between the U.S. forces in Yemen and in Iraq. What do we know about those?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning. It was a busy night across the Middle East, first starting in Yemen, where for the 9th time in 2 weeks, American forces struck Iran-backed Houthi positions. We are learning more from U.S. Central Command about the targets. The United States trying to hit anti-ship missiles that, according to CENTCOM, were prepared to launch. The Americans looking to send a message to these rebels in Yemen that if they continue attacks near to U.S. Navy.
Hold on. I got breaking here.
Uh-oh.
Breaking slave news about what I just commented on. I didn't see it yet, but this is it corresponds with what I was saying. I gotta find this.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah, Fleece, Big Fleece was all over Antoine. He said he had pretty brown eyes. Look how happy he is right there too already.
That's good. That's good. I will do anything to stay out of prison. Like I won't steal.
I'll suck your dick.
As good, I knew from a very early age that I'm not built for that. You know what I'm saying? And so
This is the thing, right? And he was all on the thing with me. And Antoine, I'm not really hating on you, bro. I'm just speaking on what happened. So like, there's no bad blood or none of that. And I'm not like trying to use you for content necessarily. It just came up in my mind and whatever. You know?
Right.
But yeah, when I first came on there, he was talking all that tough guy shit. You know where I'm from, bro? I go, I don't care where you're from. That doesn't mean anything to me. We're on the internet. So, but now he's not built like that. He'll do anything to stay out of prison, which we know what that means when we hear that on the street. You're telling, you're ratting, you're, whatever you got to do. Right. And that's what makes me scared to fuck with these people is they'll just come out in the open moment of candor and go, oh, I'll do anything to stay out of prison. Right. I know that. That's why I don't fuck with most people. So with that said, right, like then he goes on to start like once he tells Fleece Johnson, who's been like in prison for 30 years till recently, that like, oh, I'm not built for that. I'm a bitch pretty much. He starts hitting on him, telling him, oh, yeah, if we were in prison, I'd fuck you. And he's like, really? Oh, you can't make this shit up.
I just never even wanted to put myself in that hypothetical situation. So when I was saying you,
I ain't saying it to be disrespectful.
No. I don't think it's disrespectful. I think that it's.
I think you're cute, for real. Well, I mean,
look,
for real.
I'm saying, hold on. Good looking. Let's say it like that. Good looking. Well, if you were locked up, and if you were locked up, like and we were locked up, I would talk to you.
He's saying, please.
He's gonna fuck him.
And I'm gonna tell you what.
That's what I want to talk to you. That's what that means. He already recognized it. that if we were locked up, I would talk to you. We know where that goes. Antoine, I think you're cute and I want you. And there's going to be two ways to go about this: the easy way or the hard way.
Hard way, yeah.
What's up, Goblin Creature? What do you think about Fleece hitting on Anton and him giggling and laughing and blushing? I've never seen a black man blush before, too. I didn't know that was possible.
It's very telling, man.
He turned purple like Oprah. What now?
It's very telling. In the joint, we call those commissary hoes.
Uh-oh. I'm not saying all that.
I'm just saying that is what it is. Those are commissary hoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're saying that. I'm not saying all that.
I'm saying that.
I was just playing what I was just showing what was happening, what had happened, and I was laughing about it. But you know, I don't really know what anybody's doing or not doing.
The prototypes, man, of people. I mean, there's always so many types of people, really. Like the shit's like water. You know what I mean?
So what would you do it, Zay? Well, Pete out power. What would you say if Fleece was there right now? He's here right now. And he said, I like you and I want you. I think you're cute. That's it?
you on floor restriction or what, bro?
He's playing hard to get with Fleece Johnson.
You're a weirdo.
Don't play hard to get with Fleece. He'll take it from you.
I'd say you don't belong here.
The hard way or the fucking easy way.
So you finally intrigued one person. It's taken a year and a half, but she says she's intrigued by you. What do you think of that, Goblin Creature?
I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure out if Sean wants top bunk or bottom bunk. So we can figure that out.
You need to be on the bottom because when you fart, the farts go up is what I've heard.
He's on floor restriction.
But I don't know. It's just what I've heard.
Yeah, I forget how that game works because I never understood it. Like, I'm pretty sure it's the reason why is because to me it's the opposite. They always want the bunk that is the one you don't want, I think.
Probably.
You always want the bottom one because then you got somebody climbing on your shit. And I don't really see the point of that. Like, why do you want the bottom bunk so people can use yours as a ladder and step on it all?
I don't know.
I think it's a dominance thing, man.
It doesn't make any sense. The bottom is a less dominant position. Wouldn't you rather be higher up anyway?
There's no logics to it. I'm just saying.
There's no logic. Exactly. So they'll say, Paulie, you're a bitch because you got on the top bunk real quick. I go, no. I see logic in taking that bunk. I'm bigger and taller, right? It's easy for me to get up there. I don't want you climbing on my shit. And it's harder for you to attack me in the middle of the night if I'm at eye level with you. You can't get any leverage. So if you go to try to attack me and hold me down, I could just pop up and get out of your grasp. If I'm low down, you can use all your upper body weight to weigh down on me. I got 10 reasons why the top bunk is better for me. Or unless I'm confusing it. Is it bottom or top? I don't even know because
another thing is it's supposed to be like a re-education experience, if you will. And you go there and there's no fucking common sense, but all the talent in the world.
Well, I had a guy who was streaming from his cell, and I was telling him fairly regularly, bro, you're in here playing the music and throwing up the signs and acting the part, whatever. I'm not judging you, but you got opportunities out here. You know, like I'm telling you, come have a conversation with me. You could be getting to something, telling your story, changing your life, and entertaining the people. And they don't want to know from it. That's kind of the shame about it, right? They don't want to know from it. They'll get on camera to flash signs and put themselves deeper on radar from a prison cell. They won't get on there to have a real conversation and better their life. So who do you blame? You know, because unless you show somebody a big bag of money first, seemingly, or a whole bunch of power, they don't think anything's possible beyond what the fuck they know. And that's all they know. So you can't even talk them or show them out of the situation. A lot of times people, you can have everything and say, I'll give you everything physically. And they'll still go back to the old ways because it's what they know. They'll fuck it all up. Yeah, I guess it is what it
But
is, right?
doesn't it go based? That's still gonna go back to like personal standards. You know what I mean? Some people settle for shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, everything's not for everybody all the time. And most people who find themselves in prison or in certain groups or lifestyles, they have low self-esteem and self-worth. But when you tell them, hey, bro, you got star quality, you know, you got a look about you, you got a life story. I could use you or work with you to create something that you could jump with. You know, they don't want to hear it because in their mind, it's like, yeah, right. Kind of like how I talk about on here. How many times in their life has somebody showed up in their life to give them a better way? It usually don't happen like that. From where they come from, you show up in their life giving them a by the way story. They already tuned you out because they expect you to try to come up on them, right? And there's some truth to that, but you got to play your position, right? It's like, you know, am I using you for content in a sense, in a good conversation? I may just want to fuck with you because I see potential. That could work for everybody, including you. But they don't really see it that way. A lot of folks who are in that life, it's them and them alone. That's how they feel. That's how they get to feel. And they don't understand the idea of working with other people for the bigger picture. You don't understand the idea of teamwork. Like I tell you, when I was there on the streets dealing with Bloods and Crips, one side would not work with each other or anybody else, and they all lost out for it. The other side had everything and everybody in their pocket because of the way that they chose to view the scenario. And again, I'm not like hating on Crips. This is something that I've heard a bunch of times all over, that for whatever reason, you know, the Bloods, in quotes, I don't know nothing about these people. I don't get involved in it. I'm just telling you from a certain standpoint, maybe involved, what I saw. And, you know, they would deal with the customers
What
differently.
happened with the state of mind where I want to see everyone win?
That's the point.
Like,
Is even on the bottom level,
they're gonna snatch you up, drag your ass right the fuck back down.
right? On the bottom level, you still see the idea of success versus failure. It's a mind state, even in criminality in the underworld. So some folks said, hey, we want to see the addict win. We want to see, and in that world, it sounds silly because the addict winning means you get the best product for the cheapest. So they're like constantly trying to make networks to get the best product, the most of it for the cheapest, so that the addict can get the best hit and tell their people. Again, it's sick, but that's the game you're playing. Then you have the other side. They're going to sell you fake shit. They're going to cut the shit down. They're going to try to make more money. They're going to try to put, conditions on certain things because they want power and control. They don't really want to win. When you really recognize what it takes to win as an individual, it's seeing your brother as your brother and seeing that if we're going to play this game, we all got to play for everybody to win. If not, then everybody's going to lose. And I would have to tell them as an addict, I would go, I'm your bread and butter. I have to get arrested, not rat on you, and I bring you money every day. Without me, you lose. And one side knew that already. The other side had to be told that because they couldn't use common fucking sense. And they had no business acumen and no ethic. And that's why the Bloods were always in the nicest hotels with all the women and the nicest clothes, smoking the best reefer, with everything else. And the other side was bummy, in the roach spot, right? Hating when you walk in. You don't even want to be there because they're like this, hating, looking at you like maybe they're going to take some. I had them try me a couple times. Oh, bro, we like that jacket. Right now they're going to steal from a fucking addict, right? I go, yeah, and what? And they're gonna, start looking at you and seeing how you. It's all a game.
Those are power plays, though. You know what I mean? That's all that is. That goes back to dominant shit.
Yeah, at the end of the day, again, it's not about the ego. It's not about the pride. It's not about the tough guy shit. It's about there's winners and losers in every aspect and venue of life, and that comes from the mindset and the way that you conduct yourself and your busyness. Greetings, Chalk Body Outline. How are you?
Shit.
We haven't seen you in a while.
Forgot to change my name, huh? Damn.
Your account shows up when I check in on you in the back.
Shit.
Right.
Kind of ruins the
Is
whole
this one of
thing.
the old? Is this one of the old Crips that tried to press me for my jacket that one time?
Sounds
That's
like
right. That's right.
Yeah, they didn't like me. They don't like when you're big and you kind of play your position and you're humble, but you don't let them get one over on you. You know, you're white. They don't like that. They don't have to like it. They just got to respect it. Go ahead, Brian O'Shea.
Whoa.
Hello.
How are ya?
What's going on, Brian O'Shea? We haven't seen or heard hide nor hair of you in a bit. What's the deal?
I'm just doing my thing. TaskRabbit. I signed up. I scheduled a recording session for to make some music in a week, like on Wednesday. Kind of nervous about it.
that's cool.
Got
You
on
doing
stage
what on
Tuesday.
Wednesday?
I got at the library. They got a free like recording, like music studio thing. Bring a beat in, lay some lyrics down.
Got a date with P Diddy on Wednesday. Is that what you said?
Yeah, we're going shopping.
But why are you nervous? I mean, you're 018. She believe in me.
Heavenly.
No?
BOD.
Right.
Stop, shop, and lop, and dop, and dops.
Yeah. Beyond that, no. Then I did the comic.
Bro, you have the highest viewed video on Talcott Clip Collection's channel. What does that tell you?
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Well, one of the
It's true.
highest, at least, over the last few months. Out of all the clips with me and the others, you had the highest viewing by 3 or 4 X, right? Exponential. 3 or 4 times. So you got something there, Brian O'Shea. Run with it. See where it goes.
Yeah. And I got on stage at the club, the comedy club Tuesday. Rocked it out, but whatever. Same old shit. Same old jokes. I mean,
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. I mean, you're a fucking champion. You know, just is what it is. These motherfuckers don't know what it's like to get on stage. A lot of them ain't ready for that. Can't handle that. They're not world famous. They're not a triple threat actor, comedian, musician. I could go on. It's beyond triple threat.
Piss drinker.
You been masturbating lately, Brian O'Shea, or what? Out with it. Let's go.
no, I can't. Not. I mean, not in the last week or so. I think. I don't know.
That's why you go through these cycles where you stop masturbating, then all of a sudden you get productive. Is that you're on one of those trips right now?
I
Like
don't know
this
what
whole
I'm on. I am-
mixtape's gonna be like steaming fueled. This is a semen fueled mixtape.
Right.
No, I definitely am on a. It's like I almost wish I had product. Like okay, I'm gonna phrase it like this. I wish was like a drug dealer and I want to just trap all day. It's all I want to do. Like I worked yesterday, like for this fucking rich dude and made a bunch of money and I just wanted to just keep working. But whatever. I just got TaskRabbit. I'm just waiting to just pile up my schedule or a bunch of jobs and just work my ass off and
You gotta get it
fill
how
my
you
time.
live, Brian O'Shea. Hold on, I gotta thank the grifter. Peace and blessings, he says. It's my version of Super Slave Chat. Thank you, Grifter, for your contribution and support. Yeah, so you got to get it how you live, Brian O'Shea. You know, TaskRabbit's a great opportunity. You know, when I was in a different kind of mode or a different space, you know, I was door dashing and doing things like that. So you got an opportunity to use the B System technology to kind of set your own schedule, as long as you don't slack on it. I think it's a good opportunity, right? Do a couple hours each day, make a few extra bucks. You got little to no overhead, and then you invest it, whatever you can, back into yourself. So studio time, you know, if you're going to fucking gamble like a retard, I mean, you say you're good at it and it's profitable for you. So who am I to judge it? At the end of the day, bro, it's about the results. Like, is your life better? Do you feel better for it? You like yourself where you're at? You know, are you generating value in different ways? You have a skill or an ability or a talent that you're kind of honing. So, I mean, hey, there's a lot of folks out there will say gambling is one of those. Skill and ability, a talent. If you hone it, you can be profitable at it. And I mean, again, then you got to figure out, let's say you do all that, you're a millionaire O'Shea, the poker player. Like, do you like yourself in your life? Do you like sitting in a fucking casino all day? Do you like sitting around a bunch of smoke and a bunch of fucking liquor and a bunch of retards who are money motivated? Exactly. And from what I've seen from you, it's not really who and what you are. I don't really think the money gets you out of bed. I think what gets you out of bed a lot of times is the rush. You like to gamble as a cosmic gambler. So whatever kind of lets you be tested and challenged and have to put up and go past your fears and generate a result, I think kind of excites you. So if you learn that about yourself, or you know that about yourself, then you just figure out what venues that works for you and where it doesn't. Maybe you go climb a fucking mountain and videotape it and talk about melted bricks while you're climbing it without a rope.
There you go.
Some guy was on social media yesterday climbing a fucking mountain without a rope. Don't believe this shit.
Nope.
Put his whole life on the line.
Fuck that.
Bro, that'd be great content if Brian O'Shea become one of those people who climbs the antenna to change it like once a year. They got these guys who they only climb it once a year and they get like 100,000 because they got to climb to the top of this fucking thing that when you just watch it on a video, your whole inside starts to twist up. Here, look, I'm going to show you, Brian O'Shea. This is my next assignment for you. You do this, this is fucking A1 content.
All your tools with you. That's the red bag hanging below. It weighs about 30 pounds, and you pull it up behind you all the way to the top. It's a lot like a spacewalk, where you have to remember to bring everything you're going to need, because it's a long way down.
My God, Brian O'Shea, could you imagine that? That's you right now.
Once you reach the top of the tower,
it's so fucked up.
Oh my God, I know.
Can you feel that, Brian O'Shea? Can you feel your inside start to twist up a little bit?
Yeah, we used to do that in the neighborhood. We climbed the water towers all drunk and shit.
The pole that the antenna is mounted on top of. It's just there for extra height.
Oh my God, this guy's a
This
maniac.
is called free climbing, meaning that no safety lines are used. It's easier, faster, and most tower workers climb this way.
All right, I'm done. I'm done with the look down.
Oh, fuck.
I'm good on the look down.
We found him at the bottom. The guy that didn't use the safety lines.
Yeah, they got kids that do that. These Russian kids that do it for fun. They'll just hang from one hand, one finger off those fucking off the edge or something.
Taking Rob's dreads on that one. Yeah, sometimes I'll watch those videos and just sit there and experience the twist up effect. Like whenever they look down or when he's climbing that fucking thing and moving the hook. Would you do that, Brian O'Shea, once a year for 100 G's? Climb that fucking tower with the rope hook and change it?
I probably would. I mean, fuck. Yeah, why not, man? I mean, maybe you have the option to use safety if you want.
I mean, you got blown by Annie in front of Jeffrey, so I figure you're a thrill seeker.
Yeah, but that's what it is, right? Showing up for the fight. I was saying, like, that's where it is. Like these gun duels you brought up, like just showing up. Like, so all these little fights, all these little battles, your own battles, you gotta show up, and at least even if you're gonna feel like you get your ass whooped, a lot of people respect when you show up. Sometimes you don't even gotta fight when you show up because people respect it and they talk it out, but you gotta show up.
Sometimes they don't show up when you show up.
Right. They got scared. You're like, damn.
No, that's not. You sure about that, Thomas? He climbs them all day, every day, 9 to 5. That's insane. That's insane. There's one guy, I'm pretty sure they said there's some job they do where the guy climbs it once a year and he gets paid a boatload, right? Of fiat slavery currency.
Yeah.
Because he has to change the light. You don't have to change the light every fucking day. He changed the light once a year. Goes up there.
Right.
All right, let's get back to breaking slave news. You guys are boring me. Brian O'Shea, you got anything? Got any new jokes or what? You want to workshop a joke here or what? We've done that before with amazing success.
Oh, you want to give me another joke? And what would be a good premise? Do I got any premises? I'm fucking bombing. I got nothing. But I can't think of nothing. This is how I write jokes. You just fucking.
You're a big.
Huh?
Well, this is how you write jokes. You just sit in the room and say, I'm bombing.
I'm just put myself in a position. How do you just create something out of nothing? You just fucking.
Yeah, all right, everybody. We're here with Brian O'Shea. This is tonight's show. Brian O'Shea, it's good to see you here. It's great. It's a great time, great feeling. You got the band over there playing, of course. Brian O'Shea, what do you got for us? Go ahead. Give us a little bit of workshop jokes.
Yeah, you know when you meet a girl and it's all exciting at first in the beginning, you know, it's like fucking this energy out of nowhere. It's like this fucking free energy. It's just like you just feel like electric, you know. It's like you feel it. And by the end of the relationship, it's all just fucking misery and pain and suffering and
Wait, this is the joke? It's a 3-minute lead-in?
I don't know what I just said.
I thought you were going to go somewhere real, like, kind of hacky, but shocking in a way. Like, hey, you're in a relationship. It's real shocking. And then, you know, you wake up the next day and the hangover's there and you realize your dick was in a light socket. Like, I thought you were going to do something real kind of simple and hacky, but you're leading in with, like, depression, scoliosis, like having a horrible. All right, keep going. Maybe I cut you off too fast. Sorry. That was my mistake.
Handicap humor.
Start it over again. Start the premise over again.
You ever meet someone new and it's just all exciting in the beginning? Isn't that a good feeling? And then by the end, it's just pain and misery. I'm available for weddings.
No. This is great. Okay, let me stop you. I'm going to have you start again, but you made me think of something. This is the concept. We'll workshop it. This is why it's workshopping, because it's not complete and we're kind of doing it on the fly. So you ever meet somebody and it's like amazing, you know, you're hugging and kissing, rolling around, the whole thing. And then you get your release date. Huh? You like that? You get where I was going with that, right? Because the idea is you met someone, you were rolling around and kissing, but you were in prison.
It's a callback to Antoine.
Right. You see, I like to work in whatever, well, I like to work in, you know, no pun intended, whatever's going on in the situation. That's more of a Fleece Johnson kind of appeal. But you get, I mean, maybe extend it out a little bit more, but you get the premise, right? By the end of the joke, it's finally realized you were rolling around and kissing a man and you were in prison. You play off this underworld thing, right, O'Shea, that you're like a street person, you're a lowlife, you're a weirdo, you're a creep.
Right. Got released all over my face.
A little too creepy. Pull it back a little bit. Rein it in.
All right, my bad. I'm just fucking workshopping over here.
I know.
What else I got here? All right, so you imagine you're in front of a big audience, right? And you're like, say, have you ever seen a girl?
I gotta stop you right there. The premise is already bullshit. You in front of a big audience. Let's make it more realistic. Let's say you're at an Applebee's and somebody might look up in between eating their blooming onion.
Yeah. All right, it's packed at the Applebee's for some reason.
It's a packed house. Applebee's is full. Blooming onions are steaming hot. They've all been served. And maybe someone just looked up to hear you say, and then you go.
So, you ever see a girl be all masculine with her man? Yeah, neither have I. I don't know, because I don't know. When I wrote that, these are just premises, dude. These aren't anything.
Wait, that was it? That was it?
No, because
Man, he's laughing. Hey, there's one guy
quiet.
back there. There's one drunk guy in the back, chain smoking Marlboros. He thinks that's funny. The guy who laughs at anything.
Because sometimes I write him for open mic.
Did you get that? Did you hear that, Jim? Oh, this fucking Ryan O'Shea. He's a hoot and a holler. Go ahead, Brian O'Shea. Keep going.
No, that's more of a like, I don't even know what that was. That's a that's like that's me trying to call women masculine, but then people aren't gonna, like, the audience would just be silent. They wouldn't like cheer to that. And then you say neither, whatever, it's stupid. But.
You can really shorten that joke. It was already really short. You ever met a woman? Yeah, me either. All right, let's move on. I don't know, we're workshopping here.
Yeah. And I'll just read you. This other one's like kind of an extension of a short thing I do, but I'll read it anyways. It says, some say that big booty bitches be tripping sometimes. I don't think it's true though. I don't know. It's because I have this thing.
We've heard that. You did that before, and even then I said, what is that? That's not, there's no setup, there's no punchline. You just said something.
Right, but
you
it
just
kills.
basically used
that joke's that's an A. That's my A. Dude, that shit
no,
never
that
fails.
doesn't kill. They're laughing awkwardly at the fact that you're so corny and unclever.
No, well, the way I've never really done it like that, but normally I just say, I'll just come out of nowhere and I'll just be like, big booty bitches be tripping sometimes. And then it usually gets a big laugh. And then I just, even gets laugh, I'll switch the card because that's like the end of it. Like, they're just like, oh shit. You just threw that out.
Okay.
Like, whatever.
And then what do you go right into? Like, big booty bitches be tripping, and then the big laugh.
But then
and
it
then
can
it goes
be in
into
between
what?
two, like, completely disjointed. It can be between anything. Like, I have those stupid cards, so I could just throw it in anywhere. Like, so it usually.
What episode of Kill Tony were you on?
I don't remember.
Doesn't remember. Great stuff. This is a
when-
promotions guy. This is a comedian.
was when-
He has one
was when-
fucking big break so far. Doesn't remember the number of the episode he was on.
It was when Ron White was on. Ron White.
You studied under the Slow State School of Broadcasting and Ethics, huh? Completely unprepared.
Do you have a joke book, Brian? Do you write shit down?
Yeah, I got this notebook I got on sale.
Yeah,
Or
he's
scribbled
basically
it.
Jeffrey Dahmer if he read a joke book.
He's killing everybody. He's killing everybody, isn't he?
And of course, Jeffrey Dahmer was a gay man and a serial killer. I'm not sure if he drank his own urine, though. Probably wasn't into that. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. Keep going with we're workshopping here, man. I'm liking this. I think the people are enjoying this. Give me the next fucking concept. Did you like that concept about when you meet somebody and then you get the release date thing? Like the whole idea. You could do something with that.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I was writing. I just have the audience in mind. Sometimes I write it for myself where I can't tell you guys it because I'm imagining the audience reacting to like how things have been going on stage.
You gotta work it. Like you gotta first of all, you gotta sit with it and imagine being the audience in a way and how it's gonna hit different with the kind of the punchline, the way you set it up. I mean, and then you move cells or then you get your release date, right? I mean, you play with the sort of the ending point and then, you try it on people in certain venue and see what they like better, one punchline or the other. And then you kind of do it in the venue.
Yep. Yeah, I can't think. Yeah, that's all I got right now. I don't know what other premises or ideas, ways to go about it up there. Besides, other than all my. Go ahead.
Hold on, I got to screen somebody. O'Shea. Pardon me 1 second. Chris, what's going on, man? Chris Tonka? Okay, he ran. Probably up to some no good, see? That's why you got to stream them. They get up here, you call on them, and then they got nothing to say. That's kind of weird. Kind of strange behavior. Go ahead, O'Shea. Please continue. Workshopping with Brian O'Shea. Comedy extraordinaire.
So there's this Sam Hyde, this comedian, has this show called Fish Tank. It's like a live stream broadcast. I'm sure everyone else on the panel knows about it except for Paul. But so anyways, but I've been finding similarities to that show and this show. It's like a 24/7 like live stream of these people that are in a house and they do all these crazy fucking, I don't even know what it is. I'm not a diehard fan of it or whatever, but they have these competitions and someone wins at the end if they stick it
they're all
out.
stealing from what I do. I almost called you Jennifer. Something about you, Brian O'Shea, reminds me of talking to Jennifer, I think. Which you got to look at that.
Yeah.
It's maybe the hair, right? I don't want to say it's the mama spirit because Jennifer's got a mama spirit on her, right? I think it might be the hair.
That needs to look at it.
That's you.
Gonna need to reconcile that, sir.
Yeah, I mean, they're all stealing from me, Brian O'Shea. You know that, right? They've been doing that for almost 3 years now. Every fucking amazing idea that I speak on here that I try to implement with no producer, they take it, they steal it.
Well, and the point I'm trying to get to is like, I noticed with some of these contestants, they're like they'll have this skinny girl, this skinny dude, but they get strong and they have to box. Like they have actual boxing matches with different people and shit. And but you can see the strength of them, like not only physically but mentally through this whole thing. And it's like, I don't know, there's something about this broadcast where it's kind of like like the dailiness of it. It reminded me of that show somehow with some of the contestants when you see the growth in them a little bit and the way because they get fucked with too, like the way your style is to like fuck with people and bring. I don't know. I'm just seeing similarities. I don't know if anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of it is there's nothing new under the sun, and there's only oneself. So odds are anything you've seen once, you'll see it again because there's a collective consciousness and unconsciousness. So, like they say, great minds think alike. You can't stop an idea whose time has come. There's probably 5 or 10 people at the same time inventing the light bulb. Whoever got the credit for it doesn't mean that they're the actual inventor of it, if that makes sense. So, there's nothing necessarily unique about what goes on here. I mean, it's conceptual. It's just about the being and how they play with it. Most people don't approach broadcasting or entertainment or information the way that I do. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the ego, man. You want to get into that whole deal, expectations and entitlements and status symbols and all the rest of it. Some folks just like to see everyone dance. Some folks just like to have good conversation. Some folks just like to mix things up and then see how folks learn more, grow, and develop from the tests and challenges. I mean, that's kind of a God's eye view, if you will. Like approaching entertainment and information from the God's eye view.
That's an interesting way to look at it, man. Yeah, he's an interesting character, this Sam Hyde. He got an interview with this dude trying to like fuck with him. Just these dweebs, these fucking nerds. Like these, I don't know how to describe it, man.
iDubbbz. You talking about iDubbbz, Brian?
Well, iDubbbz trying to punk him out. Yeah, you got these nerds.
I don't even know that dude for real, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then another guy, and then he got into it with this guy, Tim Heidecker. I don't know. I guess it's gossip, but it's more of like a archetype of certain people that, this whole showbiz entertainment world. Yeah, it's weird, this whole entertainment fucking thing, dude, and watching it over the years, like this whole cancel culture. Now people are trying to get canceled. It's like, what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the rebound, right? The rebound, this is all conscious awareness first and foremost, and trends and movements, and they're kind of cycles. So as folks become less and less subjectively moral, logical, ethical, less entertaining, you could say objectively, the more that folks spiritually feel unfulfilled in all arenas, right? So we're seeing the same idea play over in every arena. So when you bring it to comedy and entertainment, you're just going to see more and more folks who say, we're not going to play by any rules. There's no point. If we did, we lose our credibility and you're going to fuck with us anyway. So we may as well just do whatever the fuck we want We may as well make this interesting, informative, entertaining, and play the game, right? And stop trying to trick ourselves and everyone else out of our power and position. So yeah, there's ways to do that, man. Again, like the Grim Hustle guy said, they released a whole manifesto yesterday, and he gave a whole list of shit and said the Grim is everybody worldwide, right? I mean, is it a coincidence? Like, even when I look at myself objectively, like, I'm always wearing black. They're always wearing black. They talk about being honorable men, but they're perceived as criminal folks, underworlders, right? It's like one for one. And they're talking about how to be financially free and independent as much as possible, debt free, secured within themselves, their rights, their freedom, principles, faith, and to surrender the dictates of the worldly slaves who want to project onto them. So he's talking about something that resonates with all of us. He's talking about a way of living that's been here from the beginning of time. You can call it Grim Hustle or whatever else. You can't change who and what we are, what we're meant to be versus what we've been told we're meant to be and what we've been shown. And that's the whole point of Hollywood, was to give us celebrities we thought worthy of celebration and to teach us indirectly who to be that we were not supposed to be. Right? It's trauma-based mind control, culting. You know, that's how you do culture and society if you want to make it artificial, AI overlay. So yeah, folks like myself and him and others are just a callback to what once was, which was the free expression. That's what creativity and artistic expression was about. Conscious and awareness, expressing oneself completely and authentically, and getting to the bottom of what it means to be a human being and compelling others to question and to think, right? While they're having an interesting time, right? While they're having an emotion, an entertainment, if you will, you know, evoking some emotion. So yeah, man, there's no coincidences in the simulation. There's no division. Ultimately, the only division is the perspective and the understanding or lack of it. So, yeah, I mean, that's the reason we find certain folks, certain places, certain times talking about certain things consistently. Because it's who and what we all are, right? Once we are reminded of that or recognize that again. So that's why I say, man, the movement's already happening. You are the movement because you're in a universe that's on the move constantly, moving and changing, leading, guiding, protecting, revealing. You know, that spirit is one with that process. That's why I say devote yourself to a process. You ain't got to devote yourself to me or enslave you. It doesn't work for anybody. Devote yourself to the process that is universal, and then you will be in alignment and one with all others who are devoted to that process. That is the one truth, the one life, the one way. It would seem to me. I can't find anything else in this creation worthy of looking at and talking about that's going to save us from ourselves. Thoughts on any of that, Brian O'Shea, Christos, others?
Cat, a couple years younger than me, showed me Grim Hustle months before you started playing it. And not only, do I find that somewhat synchronistic, but just in general, it seems to be a better fit, more resonant than per se like a Wes Watson, although it was hitting on certain principles with what Wes was saying. Yeah, I totally see the overlay in principles with this Grim Hustle character. He must have been going kind of viral recently, it would seem, also as well, getting more popular with those videos. And they're nice, they're concise, they're to the point. Yeah, so it's a good fit for this channel currently, I'd say.
Yeah, ultimately it just comes down to, like you said, you see that, like, Cuckbody will say, oh, Wes Watson was your hero, you got fooled. No, I don't have heroes in this shit. You are your own hero, right? There's no Enrique Iglesias, someone's going to be someone else's hero. You fashion yourself that way if you see the point in it. I mean, again, in the modern day world, just telling the truth and being real with yourself and others and standing for something is a revolutionary act. It is heroic. And, that's always been the case. It's not modern times. It's any time in history. So, I was not even a fan of, but I was resonating with the content of the character put forth, known as Wes Watson, because the information is the same and we live that. And then again, there's people who live it, and then there's people who just talk about it and who like the idea of it and see power in it and want to market it so that they can have a brand and a name and do busyness with it. And there's a fine line between one and the other. So, yeah, it's like, constantly a process and a practice to call yourself back to original intent and purity as much as possible, because it's easy to get lost in the sauce in the day to day, and the glitz and the glamour, the shiny objects and opportunities the world has to offer you. You can lose yourself in that process. Of course, we all know that. All right, let me get to the Andy Biggs claims the WHO is planning to use the next pandemic to impose world governance. I'm not saying that. He's saying that. Of course, that's craziness. But this is straight from Forbes. And he's apparently up at Congress. So let's see what this says.
Well, just before I get on too much more, I have a bill that pulls us out of the World Health Organization. I would encourage all of my colleagues to sign it. If you watched the head of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, today speaking at the World Economic Forum, they are planning to use the next epidemic to impose world governance. I mean, he basically said that. So I invite you to watch that. That's the head of the World Health Organization. Now let's talk about what my good friend from Texas is talked about. And he's been a leader on this issue, and we have both been fighting this for some time. And that is border security. And I can't help but recall the words of President Biden, who was then a candidate for the presidency. And he was asked in the debate on the Democrat side, they said, what do you tell people at the border? He says, I would urge them to surge to the border.
He's talking distraction now.
There's a reason that in the Zocalo of Tijuana, people had T-shirts on saying, Joe Biden, let me in. The reason is because he said he would. There's a reason that the first month after Joe Biden issued, I believe it was 90 executive orders undoing the border policy of the Trump administration on the first 24 hours, by the way, that you had the first record of border crossings or these encounters. And that was 150,000. Think about that, 150,000. And our minds were blown. Wow. We're saying that's more than 5,000 a day. It's a little over 5,000 a day for that. That's incredible. And the next month was more. February is more. March of 2021 exceeded that. Record after record after record, until we end up last month with 302,000 encounters. And you begin looking at it and you say, well, how does this happen? Is it just policy? Is it? I used to think it was incompetence. I really did. I want to give, and that's giving them the benefit of the doubt. I thought that after the first 3 months in a row of records, I thought they're just incompetent. They don't quite know what they're doing. And then we got to meet Secretary Mayorkas. He finally came in and he testified. At first, before he testified, he came into the Border Security Caucus and talked to us there. And he said, the border is secure. Now, mind you, just on the encounters alone.
I want to hear the WHO situation, Christos.
And so I was down in the heart of that. And we went and
whining about the border now.
Recreate down there.
You can't just say they're doing world government with fake pandemics and then.
Why are you crossing in Lukeville, man? You should have been over there in Del Rio or RGV. Why?
He segued into migrant talk.
The Sea of Cortez, like
right, right.
All right. Well, we got the first part. We heard him say it at first, and then of course they're into migrant territory right away. So you heard him. That's his belief. That's fascinating that he's allowed to say that at Congress on YouTube. And if other folks say that on YouTube, not from Congress, they get thrown off YouTube. That's interesting how that works. And again, YouTube has a whole class where they'll take you through and say, can you say this? Is this a violation? And if you go, yes, they go, okay, passed. Anything having to do with the last 3 years, anything having to do with certain topics, you can't even talk about it, they say, or it's a violation of policy. You can, however, cite other mainstream news organizations and talk about what they talk about. You see the bullshit? Even in the fucking curation of the dissemination of the information, you see the direct hypocrisy, right? They just say whatever the fuck they want, wherever they want. You're going to publish it, make a whole bunch of money off of it. We can play that and talk about it, but we can't share our own fucking ideas about what's going on. Interesting how that works. And then when they share the same ideas years later, we were sharing, we got banned for it. It's okay because they did it. Right? Do as we say, not as we do. We know that's the dynamic. That's always the rallying cry of authoritarian, hypocritical, tyrannical scum. So you're all outing yourselves over and over again. It doesn't really much matter to you because the majority of public's not going to do anything different anyway.
Right.
So whoopee for you, right? You get to just fucking play all these games, pimp on everybody, make a whole bunch of money, traffic guns and drugs and humans, and go off to your compounds. Because the fucking punk ass slaves that could do nothing anyway. Won't even write up the damn paperwork, activate the feds, or do what they need to do to get people questioned at least, if not audited. No, they ain't gonna do it. They're not gonna travel freely. They're not gonna engage in their rights and exercise their rights. Nope. They rolled over and laid down, the majority of them. And then there's some folks who go, doesn't matter what the rest of them do. We're not going quietly, and we're not interested in your fucking games and nonsense. For ourselves, we don't even give a fuck how this shit turns out. We're tired of being pimped and played on. Simple, point blank, period, right? Nothing before or after that. Call it egoic and prideful if you want. There is still a thing called will here. You know, I know that folks can't conceive of that, like doing the will, your will, how it fits together. Yeah, that's not going away. You got to kill everybody to get that to go away. And I contend that that force is only rising, right, and expanding. It's just minuscule compared to the whole. But again, they say there ain't many of us. I say less is more. There's plenty of us. The kingdom of heaven is few. The gate is narrow. So this understanding and this activation is not for everybody all the time. Quite the opposite. Few and far between, right? Just like the Army will tell you. Many are called, few are chosen. The few, the proud, the Marines, right? Not the Army, the Marines. They give you the game, and they just direct you to their fucking corporate endeavors. There's a spiritual endeavor that's been going on here from the beginning of time. You're part of it or you're not. And then you get to have the simulation. Fun, fun, fun. I love it all. Your thoughts, Brian O'Shea Christos, the rest of you? Expert panel, watchers, haters, celebrators, potential haters. Hold on, you were lagging there. Go ahead.
Was that implying the law of the land and the water with the few, the proud, and the Marines? Was that like a little subliminal of being dynamic and versatile? The few people that understand the quote unquote land, water, air thing with law?
I mean, you know, you're reaching, you may be reaching there. It's possible. I mean, it just comes down to, again, they understand the philosophers from the beginning of time, you know, conceive of these things, and then the priesthoods and the, you know, the kings, the authoritarians use this information and understanding to reorder or reorganize or redirect your subconscious and conscious mind. So I don't know that it's necessarily a direct
I wouldn't say it's
genuflection to that. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is how much of this can you say is even conscious? Because most of the stuff we do has been shown to be from the unconscious. So are they consciously doing it? Do the ones who are part of it consciously know? No. I could speak what I'm saying and they'll say, that's ridiculous. It makes no sense. Goodbye. And they don't understand that there's an unconscious component to humanity that is doing the majority of what they're doing. It's doing them, right? Like you could choose to breathe. When you stop choosing to breathe, you get breathed. The same way with the conscious and subconscious mind, it seems to me. You can do it. You can activate it. You can make conscious choices. If you don't, when you're not, something else is working. And whatever's in there is running you. So they understand the idea of the few, the proud, you know, not the Marines, but the folks who are devotees of life, who devote themselves to a process and become conscious and aware, empowered, inspired, co-creative, and peaceful. That is the ultimate fighting force. If you take conscious, aware, spiritual warriors who know themselves and what their purpose and meaning is and are willing to die for or go to a box, that is the ultimate fighting force.
Yep.
We don't have that. We have a bunch of chimpanzees in costumes following the corrupt leaders, as always.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, this community, we're always like focused on the land, but you're bringing up Marines, like maritime law. Like, how many of us in the community are going to be skilled in water and boats? I think that's something.
And I was saying that, Brian, just for the greater concept of versatility, just the idea of greater than the Marine, but, you know, being able to be on land and water, you know, and being able to switch between different environments, being able to adapt. So that would lead to life on life terms, like Paul says. So, but go ahead.
No, I'm just throwing out my interest, I guess, to learn be skilled on a boat. I mean, it's fuck. That's a hell of a skill to have.
I know a sea captain in Canada. That motherfucker was a naval captain in the Canadian, whatever you fuck you call it, I guess Navy. But he's
what is Lindsay said? Hold on, I gotta stop you. Have I not expressed that I'm like Lindsay? I've seen you on other panels regularly. You came here once. You haven't been back since on panel, and you're always chatty. You're chatty Cathy down there. And then you do this thing that everyone does, where you give non sequiturs and half sentences. Distracting. Right? I guess I'm easily distracted sometimes. So, and then you get me to wondering, like, what is the nature of your game? Like, what are you doing here exactly? What do you want from me in this place? There's some folks who, I don't know, I get this thing about, I get this vibe, and then I see things. What is he saying? Okay, and no, just Bear, please. He's back there humming tunes and shit. Give me a break. Now Jeep Girl's on her, Jezebel. Right? Fucking yeah, she's looking for simps. Well, they're all gone. They're all blocked, so you know where to find them. I don't want to even mention names. If you're looking for simps, Lindsay, you know where to find them. Okay? I've unloaded all my trash to various outlets, sources. Go over there and you can take your pick. Okay. Middle Eastern simps, American simps, Latino simps, the whole deal. Yeah, like do me a favor. If you're going to be down there chatting, just give full sentences. That makes sense to whoever you're talking to, unless you're just down there wanting to be seen and just hollering shit out in chat form. Like she's down there subconscious. I watch her type something. She just put subconscious. Because like whatever I'm talking about, you're just going to echo something down there and then get me to look at it and go, what's she saying? Subconscious what? I'm talking about the subconscious right now. Is her subconscious acting up? Does she need help? Then like the next thing is like, LOL, Freudian slip. And I'm like, is she using buzzwords now for consciousness? What's she doing? And then I start really thinking she needs help. Someone help her out down there. So you want to give her mouth to mouth? She seems like she needs to be resuscitated. Been hanging out with a lot of living dead folks lately.
I don't think I can do that. I can't risk that.
Okay. Like, yeah, okay, she's doing it again. This is why. She won't come up on panel anymore, but she's correcting me from the chat. I don't need you here. Go where I unloaded all the beta males. You're a beta female. They're beta males. You can get in a circle jack session and correct each other all day, every day from the chat box. I don't need it. I don't need you correcting me. You said unconscious, but you mean subconscious. I really don't need you to tell me what I mean. This is what I mean about people like you. You're passive aggressive. You got a whole subconscious. Does that work better for you? Unconscious twist going on, and you project it everywhere you go. And it's distracting and detracting, and it's disempowering at best if I let it be, right? So I'm kind of doing content my own way by calling out the same thing I'm seeing. And I don't know if you've noticed, I don't want it. I don't need it here. If you're going to do it, come up here and do it. Come up here and give yourself the fix you need and the audience the entertainment to correct me on the fly about what I mean, as if I asked for that or needed that. These are, again, the same people who have a hard enough time knowing which direction they're going every day, what they're doing in their own fucking life. They have a hard enough time figuring out who's a sociopath, psychopath versus somebody who cares about truth and wants to get to the bottom of what it means to be a human being at this time or any time. So I'm really not interested in being corrected by folks who consistently lack will and self-awareness. you have some arrogance and ego on you to do it as well. And then you're going to project that I'm being egoic and narcissistic right now and that you just got victimized. Stay the fuck out of here. I've told you all. You're all the same type of person. You know where to go. Don't come here to play your game with me because it's not going to go well for you. And then you're going to go off whining and victiming everywhere else to tell your story again about how I maligned you or mischaracterized you. Says, don't let me keep distracting. I'm not. I'm about to throw you out. See, you're not very bright. You know, a lot of you are not very bright and you can't see the move. This is the lead into the throw out. Many folks have seen this move before. They know where this is going. They're going like this right now. Thank God. He's finally going to fucking throw another beta female male out of here and give a whole breakdown like he always does because he's completely tired of their fucking games and nonsense. So that was the lead in. Here's the kick. It's up. It's good. Your time to fuck out. If you want to come up here, you come up here and talk to me. If you don't fucking talk to me from a chat box, especially if you're going to correct me on the fly with one-word corrections. You're a joke. Could you imagine? I'm doing a 2-hour stage show monologue, and I got some tard in the audience who doesn't know how to find their ass with both hands, who's going to throw one word at a time at me on stage to correct me. That's when I just call the big black men over and have you thrown right the fuck out. I go, could you get this tard in the second row out? Because she keeps yelling things out, correcting me on stage when she doesn't know who and what she is and what she's even doing here. Right. It's kind of how I take it when I do what I do. Sorry if I have like a grandiose vision of myself. I don't show up to broadcast every day to please Lindsay or to let her correct me from the sidelines. And if you're going to do it, come up here and give us some fucking dynamic and entertainment because I would love that. I'd love to have you here daily correcting me. It would give me so much to work with. Wouldn't even be upset about it at all. Thank you. Your thoughts, rest of the panel, on anything I just said? Your own thoughts? Like at least once a day, we have to go through this nonsense here with the same character persona.
Yeah, she needs to quit trying so hard to pose. I see the whole ass out, tits out, like over the top, S shape.
Yeah, give me a break. That's her value. She knows it. We all know it. Her ass and tits, and she's aging rather quickly. So your value is not here correcting a man doing what he's done for 500 days straight. That's where you're lost. That's where you're devalued. No man like me wants a woman like you in his life correcting him constantly. You must be insane. This is why you're all alone. This is why people like me won't deal with you. And this is why you're stuck with Slave Cotton, Slow State, and the rest. And they'll fuck you, but they ain't going to stay with you either because they don't want to deal with it either. They're looking for submissive, broken bitches because they're tyrannical. Get a clue. Your thoughts, anybody?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about that last video you played. The guy, whenever he made that statement that he made, Paul, as soon as he got done making that statement, he went right into the fucking border and all the aliens and all that, all that nonsense. He just made the statement and then, boom, pivoted right to that other bullshit. He didn't elaborate on it or nothing. I found that kind of interesting.
Right. They can't find the middle line between submissive and broken and constantly correcting the men in their life when they have no business to versus, no, not submissive and broken. They can't find the middle ground between projecting and broken, constantly trying to correct the men in their life, which is not really their job, or submissive and broken and never offering the proper correction for the broken beta males in their life who are misdirecting the ship. So they go, Paulie, how could it be both things simultaneously and neither? All paradox, all must be resolved. There is a middle ground. There is a gray area. Strong, like they like to say, divine, feminine, empowered woman who's co-creative, submissive to the right process and situation with the right man driving the train. If not, then she's going to have to mama you and get you to rise to the occasion. See? It's just not, it's about not pendulum swinging, right, and doing the black and white game. It's about understanding the form and the function, how it's complementary, how it works together to create a result, right?
I'm about to go out and make some money like Pioneer Power should be doing. So I'll be seeing y'all later, but I'll be listening in the background.
He's trying to get at you now, Peanut Power. He said you're broke and poor. You're sitting in your mama's house, and you can't afford the fucking laptop to be able to do your damn broadcast.
It's gonna make it more enticing for him to go hang out with P. Diddy as a result if he doesn't get a job.
Yeah, he's gonna have to have P. Diddy take him shopping at some point. Now, hear what he said, bro. I'm happy to hear him say he's applying at Fridays. He knows the deal. He needs to work at a real professional place where they value the food and they care about what the fuck they're doing. They're not just putting out some toxic slop in front of a bunch of fat pigs who are overpaying for crap, right? Just to be out on a Friday night. Look at us. We're going to take Facebook pictures. We went out this week.
Isn't that exactly what Friday is, though?
Exactly. I just gave you the breakdown. My point is you could be there to do what you need to do to pay your bills, but the train don't fucking stop there. It's a move to a move, bro. Do what you need to do so you can afford a laptop and your bills so you ain't leaning on your mama. So you give a good example to your sister as well. You make your father proud in a sense, wherever the fuck he's at. And you do it for yourself, more importantly, because you know you need to do that as a man. But you know, there's bigger and better things, bro. You know, you do that to do what you need to do. And while you're doing that, you don't even wait for it to potentially go bad. While you're doing Fridays and getting yourself warmed up again, get your feet wet again, you start to put in the word at the other place. Hey, listen, I'm working at Fridays right now. That's a move to a move. I don't want to work there. Nothing against them, but I want to be with people who are proficient at what they do because I want to care about my life and I want to be successful. You give that rap the way you are, how you look, as young as you are, to anybody with any kind of sense, they're going to put you on in 3 seconds. I know I would. And if they don't, you tell them to go fuck themselves and you move on. Right? There's not a man out there who owns a business who would see you come in with some light in your eyes and some care and want to be good at something and succeed that wouldn't give you an opportunity. And if they don't, they're not worth fucking with anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if you're doing a bit non-bit about believing me applying at Fridays, but that was kind of a joke. But I am waiting to hear back from this vegan joint that's really that's mad close. And that's the thing. My car's not drivable right now, so I kind of have to find something.
Well, don't
super close.
bullshit me, Dan. Don't do bit non-bits with me. I applied at Fridays and then pass it off like it's happening. If you ain't doing that, you know what you need to do, bro. It's not about Fridays.
Man.
No, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. You tell me you applied at Fridays, I go, oh, that's good. He's getting out. He's doing something. He's providing for himself, and he's mixing it up and having conversations.
No, but I am waiting to hear back from this vegetarian. Well, no, it's actually vegan. This vegan joint, super walking distance. So, yeah, Bear Jew. He just left, man. Calm down,
Bro, you could do so well. And again, it's not even completely about the money. The point is, if you like yourself and how you're looking and how you're feeling, you're getting positive attention, you're having good conversation throughout the day, you're serving some good food, and you're walking away with $200, $300, $400 on a good night, you're way ahead of the game, bro. You know, there's a way for you to love anything that you do and have fun at it and be good at it and get paid as well. You can have all the things. Don't limit yourself.
Hard to disagree, sir. Hard to disagree there. Which is why I'm
going to have to take you aside like Fredo. This fucking guy peeing out power. He's banging cocktail waitresses 2 at a time under the table. I had to get a hold of him, Michael. I had to pull you aside like Mo Green. Michael, I had to get a hold of him. Your brother's crazy back here. Hi, Neil Power. You're my older brother, and I love you, but don't ever disrespect the family again, ever. I love you. Right before he has him killed. I love you, but don't disrespect the family, Fredo. Now you're going to take a boat ride with Carlo. All right? I love you. Go ahead, Penal Power. I know you always get put off when I do my Godfather bit.
Yeah, I'm not even vegan, really, but well, I guess for January, I kind of am vegetarian. But
no, that's a different word. That's virgin.
Right. My bad. I'm getting
virginary.
That's the thing. It's easy to get these words mixed up. That's why you got to read the dictionary more.
Right.
I love you,
You're
brother.
right.
I don't know why that happened. I was just reaching for something to be funny. Play off of what you were saying.
You're right, sir. You're right. I'm a lefty, and you're right. You're a lefty too, right?
No.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else.
I'm pretty ambidextrous, though, I would say.
Okay.
I can masturbate with both hands if I have to. I put it to the test.
That's critical. That's crucial.
That's a real world skill that you can, you
Yeah.
can build off that, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you gotta
That's
be
a
a switch
gift.
hitter.
Sometimes a microphone makes it seem like you have a crazy lisp, Paul. Like fucking, do you ever have a speech impediment like that? It is the
No,
microphone.
I don't have no, I don't have a lisp and I don't have a speech impediment. Thank you for asking.
I'm just saying, Cleveland brought it up in chat one day, dude. He noticed it too, dude. I thought, I didn't know it was the microphone until he said that. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, does he have a tooth fucking problem? I was like, what the fuck is that fucking, it was the mic the whole time. I was like, okay.
Wait, so that's been happening now?
I'll let you know if I ever hear it, but there was a time where it was pretty consistent. Cleveland even
Oh
pointed
yeah,
out.
no, that was the other headset, right?
Probably.
I don't think so. I think it was just this mic. Like sometimes
What
on
are
the
you
S's.
telling me, bro? Is it happening now? Has it been happening lately or not?
No,
You're
no,
gonna
no, it's
fucking
not
insult
happening.
me. Just go all the way with it. Stop beating around the insult.
No, it's not happening now or lately. It was happening for a minute.
All
and I
right,
just
well,
didn't
go
know.
fuck yourself then. I don't have a lisp or speech impediment. That's you. That's you and a lot of other people on here, okay? See, now you're trying to rile me up. I see what you're doing. It was too peaceful around here.
Yeah.
That's you.
They got this.
That's you.
They got these poker clips where they yell out, "That's me!" when the card come out the waiting for it hit.
Uh-uh.
And they get in the guy's
Really?
face, or they just yell it like, "That's me!" Like no matter what the card is, it became a thing, and so you got to get
That's
some
me.
clips of that.
All right, well, where do you want to go with this, O'Shea? You want to finish the rest of the breaking slave news? You want cops shooting citizen slaves? Or you got your own fucking agenda.
I mean,
How about some Chiefs fans? Chiefs fans froze to death like fish sticks out of the game, and I love that. I fucking love that. I want more of that. Slaves going out watching football and freezing to death in a pack like hot dogs. I mean, you can't buy entertainment like that. Like, how fucking dumb and fucked up do you have to be out of the game and freeze to death and not know what's happening? Like, how do you not know you're freezing to death? That's a rather slow process, no? That doesn't happen quickly. You got at least 20 to 30 minutes to get that under control. You want to hear about that, O'Shea? Of course you do. Who doesn't love? Well, why am I even asking? Who doesn't love?
Frozen
Goofy
fish
fan, slave, freezing to death.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. Continuing on with more of today's top stories and headlines. And one of these stories is a very confusing one that has people questioning a lot of the
What's up with this lady?
surrounding
She's
the
got odd looking. They're all odd looking.
investigation.
She looks like a
Three Chiefs
porpoise.
fans who were found dead in their friend's backyard. For the very latest on this investigation, let's bring in Fox's CB Cotton, who joins us live right now. CB, thanks so much for being here. Walk us through what we know and what new details have now come to light.
Even she's kind of odd looking.
Hi, Lexi. Well,
Very large head, small body. I'm starting to think all these newscasters are some species of alien creature.
days, according to loved ones.
Yeah,
who
see,
say
he's down there. He gets
tried to
it.
track down
These are
Ricky
all
Johnson,
aliens.
David Harrington, and Clayton McGeeney. These three friends had all been hanging out with Jordan.
Her head is
Willis at his home
almost the
on night
same
of
size as the
January
rest of her
7th.
upper body.
Willis's attorney
It's
said
like
his
almost. It's
client
only
saw his
twice the
friends
size.
leave
That's
through
like
the front
not even.
door before going to
Yeah,
bed.
something's up
But
here.
get this, Lexi, for the next 2 days, Willis never noticed anything was wrong. I spoke with Willis's
Two
attorney,
heads
who
never
said
equals a
these were
whole
his
upper body
buddies,
torso.
some
That's
close
just
friends,
there's
and he
electrical
says that
components
if
in that
Willis,
head.
his client, had saw them outside, he would have, of course, ran to help. However, this attorney tells me his client slept in most of the day on Monday and didn't leave the house on Tuesday.
Oh, they weren't even at the fucking game. They were sitting in the backyard with jerseys on and froze to death. See, this is what I mean. This is why they got to be locked down. Lock them all down again, man. There's a pandemic happening. Slaves are too stupid. Lock them all down. They went in the backyard with jerseys on to watch the game and froze to death. It's a fucking shame that we have to lock these people down. It's got to be
either
done.
because he works from home. So the victim's loved ones and a fifth friend, though, a fifth friend who had been inside that home.
Now, to be clear, I spent 2 winters in a tent in the middle of the forest in the mountains, and I'm still here talking. These are Chiefs fans, went out in the backyard and froze to death. All right, I want to just direct your attention to what's going on here. Like maybe what the problem is?
They've all said Willis and his attorney keep changing their story about what actually happened, and they're hoping to find more answers soon with the autopsy and toxicology results.
You know, this is real simple. I'm going to conclude this case. They don't have the will to live. They're very weak people genetically. They were never supposed to live by the grace of God. This system kept them alive, and they froze to death with Chiefs jerseys on, which is very apropos. Okay?
Yeah.
Very emblematic of where we're at right now. Your thoughts on any of that? You don't drink, Paul. No, I don't drink. Alcohol's for the devil and the devil's people. Like my mother. She was a sodden drunk. I don't respect anybody who drinks, not only because of that, because I see what it does. I can be objective. My mother could have drank and it could have been her problem. Right? She had her own issues, but you know, how she acted on the alcohol and how other people act on the alcohol and what it seems to be leads me to believe it's a terrible product to use to change one's consciousness. Very low level, like almost shouldn't even be used. There's no point. Like no one's ever said, hey, I drank a bunch of alcohol and figured out some stuff in my life and my life's been better ever since. You've never heard that fucking story told.
It's never happened.
Usually like, hey, I drank some alcohol and I fucked a dog and beat my wife. Now I'm in prison. So you do, yeah, I mean, you do what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you not to fuck the dog and beat the wife. I'm just saying there's consequences.
Yeah, alcohol is not good.
Sorry. Copulate with the dog. It's a family broadcast. Being a bit rude there. A bit lewd and crude. Nearly 1,000 Georgians wrongly arrested due to false positive drug tests. I love it. Fucking arrest them all, dumb slaves. What the fuck are you submitting your urine and blood to these people for anyway?
All right.
You want to give them your urine and blood. They want to fake test. Thousands of people arrested. And then now they got to turn you back out. When they found out they were pimping on everybody. Who's the idiot? Oh, let's give our blood and urine to people who can't even figure out what's in it. And they're going to lie on us and put us in prison. Yeah. Maybe you just don't do that.
A new study from the University of Pennsylvania Law School suggests nearly 1,000 Georgians each year are falsely arrested because law enforcement wrongfully trusted the results.
Law enforcement, you don't have to enforce law.
Among police to immediately determine whether a substance found at a traffic stop or a crime scene is an illegal drug. Fox 5 team reporter Randy Travis has spent years profiling
Randy Travis.
Damaged by these wrongful arrests. And Randy,
Our correspondent Harry Johnson is on the scene.
A study by the Roadside Drug Test Innocence Alliance, which was created following our original investigation and others around the country. We were the first to determine the true extent of this problem. The study says it's likely far worse.
Oh, yeah, we know. I've been saying that.
Their stories are worth repeating because their stories could one day still be yours. Adorable couple jailed for weeks because a roadside drug test wrongly said their folic acid vitamins were ecstasy. She lost her job. He missed a
So you're riding around with folic vitamins, right? You think that you're detoxing, you got like folic acid and vitamins, and they're like, yep, case closed, ecstasy. And now you're in prison. Yeah. It's like, say what you want on the other channels about me being a crazy softset who now went to like do entertainment, bro. You don't know what I'm doing, like anywhere in my life. Doesn't matter what I do. You're like always conspiring to figure it out and can't quite understand. This is why. This is why I do what I do on every level. This is just, it's amazing entertainment, expose, and activism material, right? If you want to get down to it, like activating yourself and exercising your rights, because the alternative is you just follow whatever they say, and then they put you in prison for ecstasy for having vitamins. You choose whatever you want to do.
Ceremony to become an American citizen.
I mean, at that point, like, why not just, I'm not advocating this like Clausen. At that point, why not just ride around with ecstasy? Hey, I got 1,000 pills of ecstasy. It's my right to consume it. We're going full common law here. I don't think that you have the authority to tell me what I can put in my body and not. And unless you believe I'm trading in U.S. currency for it, you really have no jurisdiction, right? Because they're there to regulate commerce and commercial activity. That's how they get all drug traffickers. You trade it in U.S. currency, and it's not U.S. currency. It's a private Federal Reserve currency. It's a debt note of a legal society. That's how they get you legal jurisdiction. See? A lot of you dumb folks, if you didn't trade with U.S. currency, they wouldn't be able to make a claim. Right? I'm not advocating that. I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying it is what it is. If you traded a bunch of ecstasy for gold and silver, it'd be a lot harder to substantiate a jurisdiction and to make a case that you're trafficking their financial instruments. So yeah, I mean, with that said, hey, that's why a lot of folks probably use Bitcoin, huh? Because it's not considered U.S. currency. It's not considered a financial instrument, a U.S. corporation. So you might be able to get people on the possession and the trafficking, by proxy with the witness testimony, but it's going to be a lot harder if you're not trading in their U.S. currency, as far as I understand. So yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because if you're riding down the road with $100,000, they'll just jack that from you and be like, "All right, figure out in court. You must be drug dealing."
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, that's why you're basically considered a pauper if you don't hold gold and silver. There's really no point. The reality is, the more you can get your assets on record and film it, make pictures of it, have it numbered, right? It's like, with the gun situation. They want to take guns. We talked about it here before. I'm not going to go into specific detail, but let's just say they took my guns at one point. Let's just say maybe they took my guns at one point. Or not my guns, silly me. Guns that I was holding at the time for a trust. Right? I was administrating, upkeeping, maintaining for a trust, that property, which is numbered. So you can take it all day. You can make claims about what it is. It's harder to take guns because they're numbered and accounted for. Right? Now, if you got $10,000 in U.S. currency, they're going to take that. And we don't know where that was. We didn't see that. It's harder to account for that, right? So, yeah, I mean, at a certain point, if you're going to move around with value, one would say it's probably best to have value in property that is numbered and more easily accounted for so that you can have recourse. The same thing kind of goes for gold and silver. It's probably less likely they're going to take and keep gold and silver than they are U.S. currency, because they're not going to go out of there clinking and clanking with gold and silver in their pockets. I mean, again, anyone will do anything. They get a gold bar, it's worth $3,000, and they can get out of there without clinking and clanking and making too much of a scene. They're going to do it. But if you got $10,000 in silver coins that are a big fucking box, now they got to get into it. They got to open it up. They got to take out whatever they want. You got it numbered and accounted for and pictures of it, and it comes up shy. It's not going to look good for them. I mean, the same thing kind of goes for, not that you'd be able to have the recourse, but if they took U.S. currency and you had the money all pictured and accounted for with the numbers, whoever's found with that money is going to be in trouble. But good luck finding that, right? It just tends to be that when you have physical property, they're going to usually log it. And the larger it is, the more difficult it is to abscond with it. But again, I also just go under anyone will do anything if they're desperate enough, they're broke enough, and they think they get away with it. So you ride around with gold and silver too, and it's not numbered, which they're not, and it's not accounted for. And even if it is, it's your word against theirs. If you don't have it on camera, this is why I tell folks, you should have, and going forward, when I get back to traveling, I'm going to have a whole camera set up for the inside of my car. The phone is not enough. So why everyone at this point doesn't have body cameras and cameras in their car, it's like $100 investment. If you could do that, it's going to make it a lot less likely between their body camera and your inside camera that they're going to start to take shit on that camera. With that said, we see videos of them every day doing it. They'll fucking plant drugs with a body camera in front of the whole thing. They'll steal with the body camera on. People are people. But yeah, as I've said, this is just common sense to me. U.S. currency is not sound money. They print it up ad infinitum. It's lost 90% of its purchasing power since its inception. If everyone was smart and they understood how the economy worked, they would only hold gold and silver as savings or investments. They would not hold cash. They would return all that cash back to its origination point, and thereby ensuring the economy would not only continue to exist, it would proliferate or it would prosper. Yeah, the fact that so many folks hold U.S. currency at a bank is why they have to print up more, thereby devaluing it, and thereby upping the value of gold and silver. Furthermore, if everybody held gold and silver and returned that currency, the dollar would have more purchasing power, be less inflation, and gold and silver would be through the roof because supply and demand, it's a limited resource with limited demand. If the demand increased and the supply didn't increase, the price is going to go up. So you would have a sound dollar that would not lose its purchasing power, and you would have sound lawful money that would hold its value and increase because of the supply-demand dynamic. But because the majority of folks are chimpanzees, and they've been taught that a dollar has more value and worth than a piece of gold and silver, which is the worth it was created to represent, they've destroyed the economy and the economic system. So you could blame the central bankers. I'll blame the public like I always do. If you just fucking knew what you needed to know, how anything worked, and you just conducted yourself properly, we wouldn't have a loser failure system at play here constantly.
All right.
You have to take some accountability, responsibility for why things are the way they are when we have choices that lead to results.
Look how it's the complete inverse of Bitcoin. Like instead of taking your money, like take your money and invest in Bitcoin, which is electronically nothing, or take that money and invest in gold and silver, like you're saying, to help the dollar and all these different things.
This is how they got everybody. They skipped right over the gold and silver. They created the gold ETF. They drove gold from $200 to $2,000 an ounce. And now they're doing it with Bitcoin because they know what I know, that a whole bunch of people are going to go back to gold and silver. So in order for them not to lose that clientele, they got everybody marketed now on digital currency, NFTs, a whole new generation and wave, and they're going to trade in that. And they're going to hold that when there's no physical value and there's little to no use case, and it can be taken or frozen or shut off at any time, or it's subject to an electronic grid at whim. Absolute foolishness. It's all done by design. Holding that and getting that is exactly what they wanted. That's why they call Bitcoin digital gold, because they're going to now run that up to like 150,000 this cycle, probably 500,000. At some point, they're going to crash it. We know that. And all of that's meant to do is to funnel all the U.S. currency and other value into their assets that they're now going to control or regulate or tax, and to artificially deflate the metals economy, right? Because you'd figure if Bitcoin didn't exist in times like this, gold and silver be going through the roof. It's not the way that it would. So it's a way of taking all that value out of a market they've been trying to control and manipulate and deceive into another market that they have more control with and can profit more with, right? So they're artificially always stimulating certain markets, and they're artificially repressing other markets. Nothing, I believe, is going to stop gold and silver from rising long term. So if you buy that and you plan long enough, it's going to go up. It's just the nature of the game. We've seen that year over year, decade over decade, right? But it's nowhere near what it would have been if they didn't introduce this whole other asset class with sub assets. Go ahead, sir. It's a $28 billion market at this point for Bitcoin. It's like a $2 trillion market for crypto. If that all went into gold and silver, you could figure what would happen. Go ahead.
Seems like the same exact scenario with the Great Depression. You had this like simulated system of the stock market, which was like booming and people are making money and shit. And then it fucking crashes and everyone's fucked up. It's like, seems like the same thing with this Bitcoin shit. Oh, it's boom. You know, like you said, it's going to go to 500K. People are booming and shit, making money. Then it crashes and fucking.
That's why you reinvest. That's why, and I have to speak to myself and take my own advice at some point. That's why it's best to invest the majority of your value back into yourself and what you have and how you're living, because they can't take that from you, right? You know, like you can hold all this other shit. It may go up, it may go down. You may profit, you may lose. You can't lose if you have land, if your shit's paid for, you're debt free. Now you're just like doing time, and whatever comes in, you throw it in the pile. Hey, we're gambling. If it all goes to shit tomorrow, guess what? I'm out already. I got my food. I got my lifestyle. I got my people. I got my debt-free situation, and I got on the land power. What are they going to tell you? We're all gambling anyway, right?
Yep.
What fears everybody is they're going to lose everything and have nothing to show for it because they're living in debt. If they take it all tomorrow and you're good on the land and you don't owe nobody, right? And whatever resources you got, you know, where's the power gained and lost? So,
and check it out.
It's people living in debt and beyond their means that gets them scared of economic collapse and the rest of it.
Right.
You know, people during the Depression who had gold and silver stacked, who had land, who had animals and were growing food, they don't give a fuck. Go to hell with yourselves and each other. They ain't living with you anyway. They ain't in the cities and suburbs. They ain't dealing with a bunch of fucking pack rats. They're in the land. They're on the land. They're in the country. They're in their own world. They got what the fuck they need. Always have. Always will. You're the ones going to become knocking on their door when you realize you ain't ever had shit.
You know, they had an expression of someone's a commoner, like they're below someone or something. But I feel like common sense is just going to come back, like, and just like that's what's going to be the heaven on earth is just a bunch of people with just common sense and just look. You know, you don't have to look out for each other. Everyone's going to kind of like provide for themselves, kind of, because there's abundance and prosperity here for the free. So it seems like something's in the air where common sense is just coming back.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to a point in your life where everything's been going fairly well, even when it's not for a while, you have everything you need and then some, you're debt free and out of it. Well, it's easier to pool resources. What do I need excess for? Right? Like I have people who say to me at times, I'm XYZ old. My shit's all paid for. You know, if I got 500 G's sitting around, why the fuck would I sit on it and let it keep losing value day by day? I'm going to give it to you or whoever, this person. Go turn it into more. Go invest back in yourself and whatever you're creating. You know, people can wind up getting value like that at that point. When nothing else gives you value after a certain point, service gives you value because you got everything else you need. There's nothing more to get. There's nothing more to do. Someone else may be able to do something with it, or you may just get the satisfaction out of contributing where you see value, right? So again, that is the blessing of a community that is prosperous, where folks take care of themselves and therefore can provide in a sense for the other, right? Or invest, if you will. That's what makes a prosperous society. If everyone's doing well and everything's taken care of, well, we got a whole bunch extra for each person each year. We can pull that together and make a community center. We can pull that together and create something, you know, that's the idea. But yeah, that takes everybody with a common sense, a sense of self, and a sense of purpose and meaning and obligation to ourselves and each other on some level, right? And again, it's an individualistic concept on the lowest level. On the highest level, we're only oneself. So we have to understand that there is a collectivized component to individualism because nobody really can, nor do they want to do this shit all on their own. It's not the nature of our beingness. We see self as self. So we like interacting with self. Yeah, it's about disconnection.
If someone's in need and you're able to help them, dude, like you don't need, it's not the reaction to them helping you. It's like you get a satisfaction and then that probably feeds on itself. You know what I mean? Like, becomes an addiction in a sense. You want to,
yeah, but the point is, right, Brian O'Shea, we now have this culture of motherfuckers too given too freely sometimes. You know, where it's like, hey, we like you and we want to see you do good, so we're going to give you some shit. The Christ of being didn't give motherfuckers fish. He taught them to fish. Just like the guy at the gas station that day. They make fun of me for it. I'm going to sit there and give him something when he's already begging and trying to sell candy for triple the price. Bro, believe in yourself. Get the fuck out in the town square. Get an act together. Get a rap together. Talk to the people. Create some kind of energy or experience or value. They'll give you something. Right? They all want everybody to do this charity thing where they act like a society runs on charity. It fucking doesn't. A society runs on each person finding value in a community where they show up every day and they get value and give value. That's how the thing all works on a macro level, right? On a micro level, you got to stay in your lane, play your position, play your part, whatever that is. You figure it out.
Yeah, that's what nature, like when you look to nature, it'll teach you that, right? The animals, they could provide for themselves. That's one of the main basics. If you can't provide the basics for yourself, like that's why the Orlinda hammers that in, dude. Like if you ain't working this shit, like you got to get the fuck out of here. Like they'll exile you from the fucking community and
Bro,
shit.
look
like,
at the fucking tree, right? You sit in nature long enough, you start to think different, see different. You look at a tree and it becomes clear in one moment. Not only is conscious and awareness and complete order and co-creation within that tree is in communication with all the other life forms around it and in symbiosis. That tree exists only to provide value and to serve. It's giving us air, it's giving us fruit. How many more things can it serve and give for its own purpose and meaning and value? Doesn't ask anything back. And what do the selfish, greedy, lustful, lacking in awareness slaves do? Go and cut them the fuck down. Exactly what all you need to learn about life is in that one experience right there. Right? So you prepare yourself for that, knowing you're dealing with humans, but you understand you don't stray away from your supernatural co-creative beingness. Right? It's this and that. So I understand that when I come on to serve and bear fruit and to give the life force and the understanding over so other folks can live with it, not even really necessarily off it, but with it, it's co-created, right? I already know there's motherfuckers that just only wake up to try to find me and cut me down because they don't know what it's like to live like that. They don't know what that kind of peace that brings you, what kind of harmony that brings you. They don't know what kind of purpose and value and meaning you find as a beingness in life. The tree doesn't choose to do that. It's just created to be that the same way we are, but we have choice.
And check it out. The trees are able to communicate. I think this is like mainstream information. The trees communicate with each other somehow, and they know if a tree is being withheld water and needs water, so the other trees will withhold theirs so that the other can get what it needs. And so if you chop down a tree, they have a connection to each other. So you look, you know what I'm saying? They don't see the bigger picture of like how that tree could have been helping out another tree down the block. In that whole
bro,
system.
I was sitting there one day in the forest and I noticed, like, it again became clear to me that the trees will grow outward until they touch each other, and then they only grow up together. They only rise together. They do not impede each other's movement. You think that's an accident? Next time you're in the forest, I want you to look at the ratio relationship to the trees and how no matter how big the fucking tree is or how small, they only grow out till they just start to touch each other, and then they continue upward together. Never does it occur to them to continue to move outward to impede the movement and the momentum of the other individual, right? And I know that those trees communicate with each other like this, right? They can feel, the tree can feel the other tree there, and it says, oh, okay, that must be where the other tree's boundaries begin and end. That must be the other self there. And it does it all the way around the tree. And they all, each one do it around the tree till they all barely touch each other. And then they go straight the fuck up for the rest of their beingness. You think that's an accident?
Nope.
If you understand that life is life and creation is creation, we're meant to be the same way once again. And then there's choice.
Yeah, there's probably a billion examples. Like, and it's all about connectivity, right? Like and working together. Like the way a cattle won't destroy a whole field, they'll eat some of it, move on. But yeah, the story in the Orlinda about this one guy who wanted to be selfish and didn't want to have to deal with his neighbors because he might have to help them. And then one day his house blew down and shit, and he came to talk to the main person, and like she told him a story about how when the original person came here, they had nothing, no clothes, no nothing, so they had to look to nature and be like, oh, this is how if I go under this tree, I'll be protected from the rain. The way the flowers, the way the rain hits the leaves, I see how I could make shelter. So you learn from nature. This person just had nothing and learned from it, right? So the moral was to this guy was like, you're not connected enough. You don't see the connectivity. You want to be selfish. So they basically just shamed him and like sent him on his way. Like, yeah, man, this is what you get when you wanted to be selfish and you didn't want to have to help anyone. So I don't know. There's but it's just interesting how it goes back to nature. They'll bring nature to it, which I guess is just the connectivity. Just like through my mild samadhi experience, you just look at everything you see the connectivity. That's how nature must be. That the birds and everything, they just feel connected to each other. They don't They understand the big system.
Right. Beyond the beliefs and what the mind does, it's just pure connectivity, co-creativity. But that's the the smallest and biggest disconnect and impediment is belief about oneself and the world and how it all fits together. It gets in the way every time. Right. So obviously the birds don't have to talk to themselves and each other to know how to fly in perfect formation because it's oneself, 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 oneself. And there is no impediment with beliefs. And this is why I say culture's not your friend. Culture's your enemy. Because all it does is create a cult where they separate everyone based on what they believe about themselves and each other. It's called politics. No one's interested in the facts and the truth and what we need to know. They're only interested in what everyone believes and having a choice. It's the first way to destroy a co-creative civilization is to give everybody a democratic choice to align with who's going to lead them based on what everyone believes. You lead yourself with that co-creative spirit and force as oneself, seeing the other as self. There's only one way in and one way out of this, and it's not going to come from a societal cultural mechanism called politics, religion, economics, or any of the rest of it. This is conscious and awareness 101, and everything else extends off of that, not the other way around. Hold on, I got to screen somebody. Greetings, Charles. How are you?
Hi. Just make sure this is on YouTube, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Do you know who Ronnie McNutt is?
No, I don't.
Oh boy. So basically, go on Reddit, search up Ronnie McNutt full video. Then you'll find your results.
This sounds like Brandon, the Looney Tunes.
It's not Brandon Peanut Power. Thank you, co-producer. I can handle it.
I also have a powerful message for all the black people watching. I'm not trying to sound racist, but I have a message.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go because I'd rather not even hear your message for all the black people watching. I have a feeling that something is coming other than actually inspiring positive message. Forgive me if I'm mistaken on that, but I'm gonna go ahead and presume something there. Okay.
Yeah. Good
Very
call.
egoic and narcissistic here, some might say.
That was dark, Brandon.
Yeah. Power can't, he thinks everyone with autism is the same person, like all black people look alike. He can't distinguish this. Yeah, I know. He's got the same affect. You can't distinguish the subtle differences in the tonality and the pauses and the inflection. But I can, luckily enough. So,
well, that guy before Chris, he's cool. He actually he knows you from me and me from Wiz, I think, if I remember him correctly.
I don't know what any of that means.
From like 2 hours ago, that guy Chris that came up and then immediately bounced. Yeah, he has tech issues a lot, but he's cool.
Oh, okay. Well, you get the game here. You open the portal, and it's bound to at some point open up to certain folks who want to do everything we talk about: influence and detract and distract and project onto, and some might say demonic folks.
Some might say.
But yeah, about those trees, man, it's crazy. Right outside the front door here, there's a bunch of these little wispy trees. I don't know exactly what kind of trees they are, but they literally grow up, and then right around the gutter, they curve and go around in a half moon or a half circle. It's incredible, man. It really is incredible. You have to see it. And then there's like they're reaching for the sunlight. I mean, that's what they're doing. But then there's also this other palm tree, a giant palm tree, that we've had people come by before. Like, so many people want this palm tree, tree guys, and otherwise, not even tree people or landscaping people. And it's because it's worth so much money, because people would want to plant it on their property, probably because it got pulled down from a hurricane, and it literally goes up a little bit, and then it goes completely fucking sideways, and then towards the fourth quarter of the tree, maybe it starts to grow up again.
And so my
Yeah,
cats
well,
are
that's
able
the
to-
thing, right? Even that penile power, you can fucking get a tree because I've thought about doing everything, whatever I'm passionate and into, you can make a living with. You don't have to be money motivated to let value show up for what you enjoy doing and what is like fascinating. You get one tree, pretty cheap online. Take cuttings from it, sprout a whole bunch of new trees. Now they can come get that kind of tree from you, a kind of tree no one else can get, right? And obviously, you got to make sure it can do well all times of the year, wherever you're at. But there's another fucking, way that folks can generate a living and work with nature. And, the tree has feelers, but ultimately it's holographic. So I don't believe that you do any long-term loss, injury, or harm to the tree. It just grows 2 more branches, right? You take that branch and you make a whole new tree with it. And you replace some tree that some slave's going to cut down to paint the wood with some toxic lacquer and give you cancer, building you a slave house.
Yeah, but it's just amazing how resilient and also just adaptive nature can be.
Bro, you ever seen him graft trees onto other trees?
What do you mean, like cuttings, implanting cuttings kind of thing?
Yeah, like they're gonna hit me for National Geographic if I show it. But I got another. I got
bonsai tree.
I've seen other ones. They'll graft 3 different fruit trees onto one fruit tree, and it'll grow 3 to 4 different fruits once it's grafted on.
Damn.
Yeah, let me show you this. It's pretty cool.
That's wild as shit.
Yeah, I got one tree that grows like apples, pears, bananas.
I planted like 3 or 4 apple trees last year. They all made it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even like get a handle on, if you really step back from it, what that is. Like how nature, they'll say, "Oh, God doesn't exist. There's no order here. There's no like hack or anything." And I go, dude, you could take 3 fruit trees, cut the branches off and put them on one fruit tree and grow 4 fruits on one tree. If that's not evidence of a program or a hack to the simulation, I don't know what is. You can take a fucking branch off a tree and grow a whole another tree with it. I mean, I guess you either see it and feel it or you don't.
I think the liver has regenerative properties like that. They could be like 90% dead or half cut off or something and grow back. Some shit.
The liver?
Well, yeah, they were telling stories about like with the silver and gold, right? We don't even trade it anymore when it was our only source of lawful money at one point, and it turns out that it has all these type of properties to it. So turns out they were wearing this shit. Turns out they were putting it in the water and drinking it. And that's why some people didn't get the fucking plague, they say, because they were putting silver coins in their water basin. And then they'll say, "Oh, don't drink the silver. It's going to turn you blue," like the guy on Oprah. Well, tell that to the people for doing it for thousands of years, putting silver and gold in their water supply and taking micro amounts of it into their system and getting more connectivity, different kind of visions, having better health, and being impervious to the diseases of their time.
I bet that goes
the
to
evidence of this is all there.
I bet that goes right to the pineal, the silver and gold. I bet that kind of uncrusts it. It's thirsty for it, probably.
Bro,
pineal probably.
Everything here is a hologram. Look at your computer in front of you. It's a replication of the human being's biological system. Right? Memory, front memory, background memory. Right? Short term, long term. You got the hard drive. You got the DDR memory, RAM. Right? You got a graphics processor. Lets light in, turns it into imagery, sends signals. You have a central processing unit. Right? You have a motherboard. Essentially, you have an electrical source component, the heart, which is an electrical device that supplies electrical power. So, what do you think's in the computer? Silver and gold. I mean, is it always a fucking coincidence that everything is a replication or a corruption of the original, and within that you find self again, and you find the components of self? I mean, You know, again, you see it and feel it, or you don't.
Yeah, it's like it feels like the thing from one bit of information, that holographic nature of this thing, probably like from just literally
Bro,
anything.
what do you
pick
think
up
the
anything.
World Wide Web is, right? I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're all connected, like they say. Pretty much proven that. That's the World Wide Web, internet. We have an original net or web ionosphere of electricity that connects all of us and leads to group consciousness thoughts or revelations all at the same time. That's an internet. It's a World Wide Web. Everything we see is an exact duplication, replication, or corruption of the original. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Brian
and
O'Shea. Don't let me interrupt you.
yeah, now there's Indra's web, which has a drop of dew. There's Indra's web, and where each line intersects, there's a drop of dew throughout this whole entire web, and so you have the vision of every other drop of dew inside of each drop of dew, which I think is a simulation of some. Each dew drop is like a simulation of the others.
I don't accept this, and it's a slippery slope from having humor about this whole thing to being victimed, right? Having a victim consciousness. You wouldn't enjoy life the way you did if this creator wasn't sadistic the way it was. I see your sense of humor. I see what you do in chat. So how are you going to do criticism on the one self that is the creator or replication of you when you're the same fucking way? Right? You can call it sadistic if you catch a feeling about it, but the reality is it takes all things to make it work. You can't deny certain things because you don't like how it feels and not observe it takes all things for it to work. How you feel about it is a choice.
So this
I contend
symbol
how you feel about it, which is a choice, is not of your best interest. There's really no benefit to living life where you're constantly having feelings or choosing feelings. Doesn't mean you're absent of feelings in life, right? Empathy, ecstasy in a sense. If you want to talk about euphoria or co-creation, enlightenment, right? A lightning or an ecstasy, ecstatic beingness to the cellular state. That's not really even emotion and feeling. That's just a product of the beingness after a certain point, it seems to me. So one would have to conclude enlightenment, nirvana, is a state of ecstasy devoid of emotion. Neutrality, if anything. That's why the God, or the Godheads they talk about in the Middle East are positive, negative, and neutral. You have creator, destroyer, and the neutral space. Right? It takes the neutral space to accept the creation on creation's terms, positive and negative. So enlightenment to me is not positivity. It's the acceptance of life on life's terms, that it takes positive and negative to make this creation happen. You can observe a neutral state, you can accept life on life's terms, and then you can co-create using discernment. You really don't have to think about that. More of a beingness space, right? And it's not emotional. It's intentional and it's intuitional. Right? It really, to me, as far as I could tell now, going from where I was at a certain point to where I am now, whatever that means, I'm not saying it's necessarily better or worse. This is just my perspective. It's better for me to practice detachment, not depersonalization, be empathic, empathetic, but intentional and intuitional, and using discernment. That doesn't really take my thoughts and emotions. It really takes my thoughts and emotions being out of the equation. The rest of it is just beingness, right? The way we're created to be. And of course, part of that obviously is probably learned through experience. Thoughts on any of that, Brian O'Shea?
I was stuck on that symbol that you've been working with, this snake. I kind of wanted to chat about that a little bit.
Yeah, get in the snake. I'm going to put you in the snake. Hold on.
Yeah, so the circle, so there's a lot going on here. First, you got the circle, you got the wheel of time, you got the Yule, you got the light and dark ages. So we're going to go through this. And then you also got the Shiva, you got the Hinduism idea of Shiva, who is the creator and Brahman, right? The creator and the destroyer in like one person. So the creator, the head, right? It's it's the Brainiac, but then you got the Destroyer, who are the same person. So there's the Light Age would be the head, but then as you go cycle through, you're gonna get to the bottom where you just it's all over. You get devoured and start over again, or something. This would be, yeah, it's an interesting fucking thing though. The Caduceus or whatever. Because it has the one self idea, like if everything of creation is wrapped into that, if that's the wheel of time, it's only one thing that creates and destroys itself in some way. Like,
That's pretty cool.
because yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this destruction thing, like where we're at, like, because there's a dance at the end. Like there's a dance when he's destroying everything. There's a dance to it. And I think it's what Paul was just talking about, where you accept everything, the beauty of this fucking moment, because it is our greatest teacher is what we're going through. So it's just like you dance your way at the end to the where it starts over, the cycle starts over, the golden age. So this is just the end of the destruction. You just dance your way through this fucking nightmare, fucking whatever. Right into the kingdom of heaven, which is we might see in our lifetime. We might be able to witness this. We might, I don't know.
It's pretty trippy. Snake is fucking trippy.
It's the wheel of time. Look, you can't escape it, dude. It's like there's a disc too in the Hinduism, dude. It's called it's one of these weapons, but it's based on the wheel of time, and it could go in one direction and another. So you get serrated, dude. It's like a black hole. That's what time is, dude. Time is the destroyer, dude. When it's not the present moment. Yeah, the present moment's eternal, dude. That's the fucking void, the space. But then time is what creation is. Like you created time, you created destruction, you created the destroyer, dude. Like,
yeah, the process of entropy. But again, that's to keep one humble and grounded and directed. There's a purpose for everything. Human beings are already not grounded and purposeless and meaningless because they've created their own God within themselves that thinks they can do whatever they want and have everything to be okay. It's not the case. So it is only the process of death that keeps one constantly focused or called back to at certain points who and what they are, what they've been, and what they're meant to be and do here until that day comes. So I just see simulation everywhere. I just see growth and development everywhere. I just see rising to the highest good and to the occasion everywhere. There is no suffering. There is no evil. This is a choice. Doesn't mean that the cause and effect isn't there. Doesn't mean we're not generally going to feel certain ways about certain things. But again, the Tao says you must go beyond good and evil in order to essentially work with this thing. You cannot be partial, right? You have to see all of it objectively as much as possible for what the purpose is, what the meaning is, beyond what you like and don't like, what you want and don't want, and how you feel about it.
what are your thoughts specifically on the snake?
Acceptance for what is on life's terms is how we take power back over what we cannot control. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Cannot change the evil of the world. So accept it for what it is. Does not mean that we live it. Right? We do what's true and what's right and what's good for ourselves because it feels better than not.
Yeah, if the snake is evil, it eats itself in the end anyways. Like all these schemes they have, what's the end of it? Like everyone's just dead and poisoned and fucking,
it always undoes itself and you can't change it. This is the point. This is what leaves a lot of Christians paralyzed in their life. They've accepted the prophecy. They say it's all there. We can't change it. So we're going to do nothing with ourselves and in this life about what we're doing and being and how we're living. And that's the insidiousness, the subtlety of it, right? We're here to do and be what we're here to do and be. We accept life on life's terms. That comes with good and evil. It feels and is better for the self to do good as much as possible. It works out better that way. But we cannot contend that we're here to fight evil because evil is a product of this experience and this simulation, and it is a choice. And you cannot take anyone else's free will choice. They will be judged at some point. They're already judging themselves and each other subconsciously, if not consciously. That's evident because they're suffering and don't like themselves. And then at some point comes the consequences of their thoughts, emotions, actions, and inactions. And we have to witness that. If not be part of it, we're going to have to witness it.
Yeah, because willpower is a motherfucker, dude. Like someone's will, someone shows you their will. Like that's why your channel, The Willing Few. It's like that's what you're. It's like people need to be introduced back to their own will. I talk about the will to do good and then acting that out, that goodness.
Yeah, I mean, is that yours or is that already put there? You just have to remember it or discover it or activate it. Work with it. I'm just calling out to that part of you, right? You don't really create it or destroy it. You just observe it and recognize it, or it takes a back seat. And then you start doing what everyone else does, what they tell you you're supposed to do.
Yeah, if you say, I want to will this into existence. If you have a desire or goal, you say, I want to will this into existence. You know, all of us could be motherfuckers when it comes to that. I think if we're all oneself, like if you say, okay, if I put my mind to this and do this thing and use my willpower, it's like you almost feel like there's nothing you can't fucking do if you focus on it. Like what the fuck? Like willpower is a motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, well, that's why, Jay-Z, Hova will give you the game just like the well, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. So on the highest level, you really can't be created here or destroyed. You just come into this place to have an experience and then you leave. And obviously, what is stood for or how you live can never be destroyed as well. Right? Because it's always been here. It's always a part of who and what we all are collectively and individually. You either observe it and recognize it and live it, or you don't. And if you do, you're prosperous and you're led and guided and protected and revealed, it seems. If you don't, you're going to suffer anyway. So this is about faith over fear. All that this creation and this simulation is asking from each participant is faith over fear as much as possible. And that makes sense because all the Christians and all of them constantly talk about God and faith. Okay, show me now. Don't tell me, show me. What does faith look like in your life? Stepping out on faith, not on sight. Show me what the fuck that looks and feels like. If you could do that, I believe the creator is pleased or the purpose is served. If you fail to do that, you're going to be miserable and suffer, and this thing is going to slip another few pieces in order for us to learn more and discover more, right? It's a cycle, like you see, eating its own tail. You will observe what we're here to do and be, or you will suffer the consequences. That's not sadistic. That's called learning. The same way a parent maybe would engineer certain synthetic results to have a child be tested or challenged, right? You say, oh, that parent's sadistic. If you put your child in a position to learn and grow or have consequences, be tested or challenged. They presume that this God is a God of love, right? It's a God of creation. And if all things exist within creation, then we're here to learn and grow. So yes, love is what's needed. Care is what's needed for self and the truth. But we're not necessarily here to love ourselves and each other exclusively without the meaning and purpose. So it seems that, like it says in the scripture, in a sense, not a jealous God, but there are certain obligations or demands put upon us inherently, right? Inherent hierarchical power and value systems. You observe it and you live into it, or you don't and you face the consequences. And we see what the consequences always are: poor and broke, hateful, bitter, angry, resentful, alone, or with a bunch of other loser failures live in the same way. Can't get to nothing, can't go nowhere, can't afford to get there even if they had a place to go. And once they get there, they're still with themselves and each other. So it never quite feels right.
Can we watch cop shoot a slave, please?
All right. You know, you listen, ask and ye shall receive.
There you
Who am
go.
I to stand in the way of Brian O'Shea and his wishes?
There you go.
I think it's part of the docket anyway, man. You got to fulfill the docket. All right, body cam man open fires on police before Nashville
Hell
police
yeah.
shoot and kill him.
Ooh.
Hey, relax back there. We got a rabid slave in the back. He's got a bloodlust. You relax back there, right? Conduct yourself with some level of decorum. We're professionals here. It's very disturbing content, too, by the way. I want to be clear. Warning.
At 2:02 a.m., Madison precinct officers were dispatched to a non-critical shooting that occurred in a Maple Street parking lot just off Gallatin Pike South. Officers found a 32-year-old victim with gunshot wounds to his extremities. He was transported to a local hospital and would not tell detectives what occurred. That shooting scene was cordoned off by crime scene tape for evidence processing.
Take your hands out your pockets for me. Hey, stop!
Damn.
Shots fired. We need more officers over here right now. Code 3. Move your head. Right here. I'll see you. Hey!
Code 3, O'Shea.
Shots fired. Shots fired. We need more officers over here right now. Code 3. Don't move! Do not move!
Yeah, it's a code 3, O'Shea. That's typical in the business. We know that. Your thoughts on any of that? We got a couple more if you want. I mean, we got a stack of them, but I'll do a couple more before I check it out. This is all bonus content, by the way. So these folks should be very thankful and grateful, and they should show it in various ways. First of all, by drinking Brian O'Shea's aged urine, because it's going to bring a glow to your skin. You want to do an ad right now, Brian O'Shea? Go ahead, do an ad. It's been a while since we've done an ad. I know you're selling your aged urine now. It's a new business you've started, and I figure I, give you a platform here. So go ahead. You got the ear of the people.
I would like to introduce everybody to O'Shea Beverages. Here at O'Shea Beverages, we have fermented piss. It's like it's alcoholic, so you do have to be 21 or over to purchase it. We also have Pissicles, our new product coming up for the summer line. We got different flavors: strawberry, blueberry, and raspberry so far. Anyone has any ideas? And we also have a bottle of aged urine. It's aged at least 5 months. And this is topical use. You could use it on your face. It's good for acne. Use it on your feet. It's foot soaks. Use it in your hair. It's wonderful for anything. It just will smell like urine, though. It is a high, has an ammonia, like very intense urine piss smell. But, figure out a way to not reek like piss. It's good for you. You'll look good. You might reek like piss, but you'll look good. If you just figure out a medium zone there, I think it'll work out. So
Doesn't work
O'Shea
like that, dummy.
Go to OsheaBeverages.com, and if you use the promo code Pineal's a little fucking rodent. Come on, man. We can do this, dude. I don't know.
Nah, you got to shorten you got to shorten the promo code. We've had this issue with you before. You can set the promo code, but you got to make sure that it's like 3 to 4 words maximum, because then it starts to get, you want to bring in 6, 7, 8 words, a whole sentence. Just keep it to maybe 2 to 4 words at max. All right. So try that promo code again.
Yeah. So if you go to OsheaBeverages.com and use the promo code Pineal, Applebee's best server, you'll get 20% off. Thank you.
All right, that'll work. It's kind of long there. It's going to be hard for them to. He's got ADD. These people, they're always typing and looking and double screening. But Applebee's a bit much. But okay, I'll accept that. It's technically 4 words. All right, give me the final word here. Let's wrap up.
Well, it's been an honor, a privilege, and
nice chatting with you, boys. Nice chatting with you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Fuck, I'm gonna go do what I do, work and fucking whatever the fuck. All right, I'm out of here. Bye, guys.
All right, Brian O'Shea. Anyone believe he's actually going to do anything?
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Final word.
No. Yeah, good hanging with you, boys. Keep it going. Keep it on the tracks. And We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, sir.
With that accent, I'm kind of wondering, is he 5 Speed's brother, relative, maybe? Is that me being stereotypical again? I don't know. All right. Get some sustenance. Appreciate you. And hopefully we'll get Steve back after his day off. So yeah, appreciate you. Peace, prosperity, pine, and power. I'll see you tomorrow. Much love.
All right, Penal Power. You're out of here. I'm out of here. I'm not even giving a sign off tonight. I'm going straight to the outro. Okay? I don't care what anyone thinks about it. I'm stealing one from Wizard. I love you. I don't give a fuck if you love me back. All right, I kind of do. Bye. The government is a figment of your imagination. It's an artificial, intelligent overlay. It is only a concept. It's a play. It's a performance. It's an act. They love when I have to fucking go off. I can look at something from a few different sides, and I can see where it all connects despite what they're telling me. Right? They just look at what they're told. I look at what makes sense. You know, they'll say I'm doing word salad. They'll say that I'm just going off on my own tangent, but that is because my mind works in a different way than the majority of the slaves. You guys are all in your feelers and never see the logic behind life, how it all moves together and fits together and how it works. So when you learn to check your feelers and move them out of the way and just observe with clarity and presence and awareness, you will make the right determinations and the right decisions. It's all the same shit over and over again. And no matter how much I speak on self-empowerment, self-mastery, self-reflection, you all have a belief and a feeling that's going to trump that. Ancient wisdom that works for everybody who embodies that. You're not your own God. I know you want to be, but you're not. As soon as you get in line with what that thing wants from you or what is, you'll stop having these fucking problems. I view all the rest of this shit as a distraction. Governance is an act and a play, and it requires your belief and participation. The culture, the society, the legal system, the legal society, policy, statute, and code is the original artificial intelligence and state of consciousness that has been overlaid on the NI. And that's why you have domesticated slaves and you have uncivilized men like myself. You don't want to accept that there's an objective morality that exists in this realm that every man and woman can comprehend using objective logic. It's not about wanting the fame and the riches. It's about being good at what you do, being recognized for it, and then when you get to the dance, telling all the people to suck your dick in public and leave because you never wanted to bond with them anyway. That's the whole point of being true to yourself, is so that wherever you get to that you're meant to go, you don't have to change that. Quite the opposite. That's what got you there. I got a direct link to that spirit and to the people who you can't get it.
Hey, dumbass.
That's beyond worldly power. That's where you go beyond the ceiling that they don't want you to go beyond. That's the stage of inspiration and empowerment. They can't control you no more. They can't influence you no more. They can't put fear on you and things around you to stop you from being who and what you're meant to be. That's the game for me. That's the game for all of us, I thought. Actualized and realized. Written on our heart, first and foremost, through common sense, that if not overlaid with some dogma and indoctrination, we could all communicate harmoniously. Right? So I'm never going to accept, unless my perspective completely changes, that there isn't an objective morality here that can be hit as a standard and understood by any being with the capacity of objective logic, understanding right from wrong. Okay? So you just want to say statute, policy, and code is law, and the law is the law, even though they're making it up and revising it constantly. And it's not always in line with objective right from wrong. So you're completely misunderstood. You guys talk from feelers. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Your etymology is never sound because you don't care to look into the words and terms. This should not be that difficult. But for beings who lost the ability to imagine, I'm sure that it's quite the Herculean task. You should be able to zoom out and see all the connections and how it relates. You can't do that. You have no business speaking to someone else who can. There is no selfless component to you folks' consciousness. And it's evident because you constantly project onto others how selfish you think they are because you don't think that that state of consciousness is attainable. Embarrassing.